people, he's alright. So, right, before I get into this, I'm just going to make a statement right here and now. I am not a religious man, I never have been. I was never brought up in a religious background. You know, who I am, my essence, whatever you want, is through my own reflection, my own discernment, contemplation and experience through life. I never go any of my attributes through any kind of religious dogma. So this is not about, you know, I've put that, you know, fake Christians, fake truthers. I'm certainly not here, you know, advocating any particular religion. I'm just going to have a look at some of the aspects of some of these teachings and some of these characters who profess that's what they are. Although in the kind of biblical type ideologies, these very same characters are the Satanists in a biblical sense. These people are manipulative, they are liars, they are slanderous, and we're going to have a look at that. So, you know, just right off the bat, I am not affiliated with any political movement or religious movement or any of that things. I'm just a man who is curious about this experience that we call life, and I want to understand the objective reality that we all share. I want to further my understanding. Okay, that's why I'm involved in this. That's what this whole question is about. The whole thing is being muddied, and people are being pulled from pillar to post by propagandists, deceivers, faceless potatoes, people professing they are of love and compassion and empathy and some of these type of Christian or religious type, you know, characteristics. And I think people are blinded. People just like mantras and buzzwords and don't have the discernment to look at the actual details and the walk of some of these people. Now again, these people are irrelevant to me. I'm purely using them right now to highlight some of the aspects that goes on, in case there's anybody who comes across this who is affected by these types of characters and some of the shenanigans. But I'm sure those with a critical discerning mind can see through the bullshit that these people offer and what they're really up to. So, I'm not here to defend myself. Who I am and my subjectivity is by the by. It's of absolutely no consequence or relevance to the question of the objective reality. Okay? So, again, I keep saying this to people. You should not be looking to commit or invest your emotional expectations on some entity that you see on a screen on YouTube. Okay? Again, I'm not saying I'm not a friendly person and I wouldn't be the first one to stick my hand out to help you in a time of need, because exactly that I would. And I have shown that, and people who know me know that's the way I am. But I'm not here to defend myself. I don't feel the need to defend myself about any of these people. This is not what this is about. No me defending myself, highlighting their illogical, irrational, downright deceptive, arsehole behaviour. Okay? I don't care what they've got to say about me. You know, I've got an empty tin somewhere with all the fucks I give. And I'm willing to mail them to any of these cocks. Send me a couple of grand and I'll mail you the empty tin of fucks that I give on judgments. Okay? Judgmental attitudes. So let's just run through a couple of wee things. As I say, I've never been a religious man. I've never delved deeply into any of the religions. I get a surface feel of some of these religious type philosophies and ideologies, and you know, I get a general feel for them, and as soon as I start to find kind of hypocrisies and contradictions and disempowering type narratives, I remove my attention from them. I can't really take them seriously or go any further. So I'm just having a wee look about. So I'm gonna read out a couple of things before we get to some of these main protagonists. Now, some of the people in question here are going to be like Russian Vids, a channel called Flat Out Elected, Mike Helmick, and obviously, you know, other characters in the comments section like Roxanne Glenn. So we'll have a wee look at some of these people's walk and what they contribute to and what they try and perpetuate, right? And then I'll leave it up to you for you to discern who's who and what they may be up to, right? Because the only agenda I have is to make sure that I offer as much as I can to empower people. No bullshit, no lies, no other agenda other than progress for the whole. Because it benefits me if the whole are sharper, more discerning, betters my chances of finding out where I am. So that's my incentive, that's my drive, that's where my intent lies. Always has done. And anybody who doubts that can go and have a look over the last 3.5 years, 4 years if you go to Facebook and see exactly what I've offered. Okay? Now I've had nothing. I've been here up front showing people where I live. People can come and visit me. They see my family. They see my interactions with my family. We'll see that in comparison to some of these characters, right? And then we'll kind of have a wee discussion about why they have issues with people like myself and why we have this, you know, cartel of propagandists working together to try and defame people and slander people, right? So, hello everybody in the chat. I'll come to chat. I'll probably open up once we get through this and let people have their say on it. So, let me just have a wee look at some of this stuff, right? I'm just going to read through, again, you know, I'm looking at some kind of Christian type religious people. And again, these people that I'm going to be focused on profess their kind of Christ-like walk, right? And that's what they're about. So we'll have a read through what some Christian people and some of these teachings have got to say, and then we'll go and have a wee look at them, right? So, wait a minute. Right, so how can you tell the difference between a real Christian and a fake Christian? Only God knows our hearts. Now remember, you know, I'm not an advocate for these. I'm just reading out some of these testimonies from people and what they get from their teachings, okay? Only God knows our hearts, and only He knows whether or not this person has sincerely put his faith in Christ as his Lord and Saviour. Jesus warned, "Do not judge, or you too will be judged." Now, when we use that word judge, we have to distinguish between judging in any given set of circumstances, you know, the benefits or the dangers of any given situation as an individual. We're not talking about, you know, making a judgment in these type. We're talking about judgmental, i.e. people who look down upon others and think that they're on a pedestal, that they can pass judgment on people's characters, their demeanour, their look, their race, their skin colour, you know, whatever it may be. There's a distinguishment has to be made between making judgment calls on aspects of your life in any given circumstance and passing judgment on a subjective level against other people. Right. Jesus commands those of us who are his disciples to love people, not to treat them as if they were below us or are worthless. So again, if we go back to me, again, I'm not trying to defend myself. I don't have to. My walk's there for everybody to see. But this is one of the stances I always take. Now, as I read through some of this stuff, I see some similarities. And, you know, I understand that for me, you know, I look at this kind of Christianity or these kind of teachings as not to be taken as literal. You know, I look at it now as a mind state. Okay? Anybody that knows me knows that I have disagreed, and, you know, I know there's agent provocateurs out there, there's liars. I still defend their right to be them. That's the difference for me. I defend their right to be them. I'm not running about trying to shut them down. That's no my. I am secure in myself. I don't feel the need to shut other people down in order to make myself feel secure. They can be who they want to be. I have the right to ask questions, and so have you. And that's the way it should be. If you're coming up against people asking questions who want to shut you down for that, there's a real issue there. not to treat them as if they were below us or are worthless. He said, "By this all men will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." Now, I think we have to look at these words like love. You know, for me, I love like an emotional respect for people. I have a fundamental respect for people at a base level. But when we use this word love, you know, I would interchange that with accept. I accept all human. I accept all behaviour, all character. I accept it for what it is. Again, I don't feel the need to oppose it. I don't feel the need to box any of it in, to control any of it. The only process I go through is a willingness to understand, to further my knowledge. And that's it. So I'm very cautious of using words like love, because there's a lot of naive people out there, and we'll get to that, where they require, you know, fuzzy wuzzy love words and buzzwords, superficialness, to make them feel content and secure. The Bible also says, "Let your gentleness be evident to all." Needless to say, a sincere Christian's life should also be marked by honesty and integrity. Just bear with me. Don't let the hypocrisy of one person keep you from Christ. People may disappoint you, but Christ never will. Look at him as he is revealed in the pages of the New Testament, and when you do, you will realise that he was the perfect example of love and self-sacrifice. We'll get to some of that. The reason is because he was more than just another religious leader. He was a God in human flesh, sent from heaven to save us from our sins by his death on the cross. So, anyway, let me move on. Christian rules and laws, commandments within Christianity and how they actually affect Christians. Let me just see here. The 10 Commandments. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol in the form of anything in heaven or on earth. You shall not misuse the name of your Lord. Remember the Sabbath day, keeping it holy. Honour your father and mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbour. You shall not covet your neighbour's possessions, wife, etc. So, you know, based on these kind of types of things, you know, I think it's very, very quickly understood that, you know, again, distinguishing between making judgment calls in any set of given circumstances in regards to your life and being judgmental. And again, for me, that falls into that, you know, being judgmental and giving false testimony against your neighbour. Just have another wee look here. Where am I? So, 3 ways to respond when slandered, and this is in regards to, you know, Christianity. Slander is a serious sin, like its cousin gossip. Slander is incredibly destructive. It lies in wait for blood, Proverb 12:6, destroys neighbours, Proverb 11:9, and separates close friends, Proverbs 16:28. While both gossip and slander involve destructive speech, slander adds the additional element of dishonesty. Gossip spreads the fire, but slander sparks it. It's acutely painful to be slandered, and pastors and ministry leaders are particularly easy targets. Precisely because it's such a serious sin, we must be especially careful to guard our hearts when it happens to us. One of the easiest ways to be led into sin is when we are sinned against. Here are 3 tips for responding with wisdom and grace when slandered. I'm not going to bother getting into any of that. gently confront the slanderer, not by email. So, I'm going to confront these slanderers as I always have done and always will. But again, I'm not here to preach this gospel. I am not a religious man. Okay? Now again, that doesn't take away from the fact that intellectually I accept that there has to be a prime mover, something that brought this into existence. I don't feel the need to adopt a belief structure and to push that onto others about what that may be. Again, my compassion, empathy, willingness to understand never came from any teaching. It came from self-reflection. Constantly self-reflecting, considering given situations, relationships, different scenarios, observing my behaviour, my responses through time. Okay? No, because a book told me that was the way I was to behave. Right. So let's have a wee look. So when we get into propaganda, okay, now remember these aspects that we're lining up here. And now we get into propaganda, specific techniques, ad hominem. A Latin phrase that has come to mean attacking one's opponent as opposed to attacking their arguments. That's in regards to debate format. But it applies to every aspect of living. Whether you're confronting somebody about blatant lies that they're being told and they will turn it on you, try and gaslight you and attack you by calling you names. Okay, so we always have to look at a specific aspect of what the topic is, and that's where the focus should remain. Okay, so if we're involving other people, we're in regards to the specific topic or content that's being offered, right? Ad nauseum, this is a tireless repetition of an idea especially a simple slogan that is repeated enough times may begin to be taken as truth. Agenda setting, this means the ability to influence the importance placed on the topics of the public agenda. Blah, blah, blah. Appeals to authority, we know all these things. Bandwagon, the inevitable victory. Bandwagon and inevitable victory. Appeals attempt to persuade the target audience to join in and take the course of action that everyone else is taking. So again, we'll see aspects of this. Psychological manipulation. Some aspects of psychological manipulation. Positive reinforcement includes praise, superficial charm, superficial sympathy, crocodile tears, excessive apologising, money, approval, gifts, attention, facial expressions such as a forced laugh or a smile, and public recognition. Negative reinforcement involves removing one from a negative situation as a reward. Intermittent or partial reinforcement. Partial and intermittent negative reinforcement can create an effective climate of fear and doubt. Partial or intermittent positive reinforcement can encourage the victim to persist. For example, in most forms of gambling, the gambler is likely to win now and again but still lose overall money. Kind of relevant points there. Lying. It's hard to tell if somebody is lying at the time they do it, although often the truth may be apparent later when it is too late. One way to minimise the chances of being lied to is to understand that some personality types, particularly psychopaths, are experts at the art of lying and cheating, frequently and often in subtle ways. Okay. Again, a process of discernment, understanding, your own mind. Again, I point to things like the trivium. Look at the structure of that. Look how it's laid out. It will help you to decipher and discern manipulative liars. Okay, they will contradict themselves in their walk. More aspects. Diversion, manipulator not giving a straight answer to a straight question and instead being an diversionary, steering the conversation onto another topic. Evasion, similar to diversion but giving irrelevant, rambling, vague responses. Covert intimidation, manipulator throwing the victim into the defensive by using veiled, subtle, indirect or implied threats. Guilt trip, a special kind of intimidation tactic a manipulator suggests to be the conscientious victim that they do not care enough, are too selfish or have it easy. Shaming, manipulator uses sarcasm and put-downs to increase fear and self-doubt in the victim. Manipulators use this tactic to make others feel unworthy and therefore defer to them. Shaming tactics can be very subtle, such as a fierce look or glance, unpleasant tone of voice, blah blah. Vilifying the victim. More than any other, this tactic is a powerful means of putting the victim on the defensive while simultaneously masking the aggressive intent of the manipulator. While the manipulator falsely accuses the victim as being an abuser in response when the victim stands up for or defends themselves or their position. We've got aspects here of playing the victim as well. Seduction, manipulator uses charm, praise, flattery or overtly supporting others in order to get them to lower their defences and give their trust and loyalty to the manipulator. Love and hugsies. Much respect and love and appreciation across the international flat plane of existence. Strangers. Feigning innocence, manipulator tries to suggest that any harm done was unintentional. Feigning confusion, manipulator tries to play dumb by pretending they don't know what the victim is talking about or is confused about an important issue brought to their attention. So again, we'll see this in aspects of asking questions about contradictory behaviours and being attacked en masse by certain groups. Vulnerabilities exploited by manipulators. The disease to please. Addiction to earning the approval and acceptance of others. So, again, if you're setting yourself up like that, if you have these kind of traits that are detrimental, in my book, to yourself, you need to catch yourself on. Okay? You don't need the approval of anybody else. If you're still seeking the approval of somebody else, you've got work to do. You're still insecure. You may have low self-esteem for whatever reason. Again, past judgment, frustration or disapproval. Lack of assertiveness and ability to say no. Blurry sense of identity with soft personal boundaries. Low self-reliance. External locus of control. According to Simon, manipulators exploit the following vulnerabilities that may exist in victims. Naivety. Victim, stop it just now, I'm busy. Throwing snowballs at me. Naivety. Victim finds it too hard to accept the idea that some people are cunning, devious and ruthless, or is in denial if they are being victimised. Overconscientiousness. Victim is too willing to give manipulator the benefit of the doubt and see their side of things in which they blame the victim. Low self-confidence. Victim is self-doubting, lacking in confidence and assertiveness, likely to go on the defensive too easily. Over-intellectualization. Victim tries too hard to understand and believes the manipulator has some understandable reason to be hurtful. Emotional dependency. Victim has a submissive or dependent personality. The more emotionally dependent the victim is, the more vulnerable they are to being exploited and manipulated, which again highlights my reasons as to why I was concerned about certain groups forming a kind of militant type attitude and using buzzwords and mantras of love, unity, respect, because there is vulnerable people out there. There is people who match that very description. Now, if you're going to be interacting with these people, I can guarantee you there's going to be manipulative deceivers amongst them. And my concern is that I did not want to be an advocate of that. I did not want to have the responsibility at my feet. Because there is people like that out there. Now, for people to try and make out that that's not the case, to brush that under the carpet, to not be outwardly outspoken about it, is very concerning to me. Naive at best, downright fucking deceptive in the worst case. So people need to be real with themselves. The world is full of different complex personality types and characters. There are psychopathic, sociopathic, narcissistic, manipulative abusers out there. To try and act like using buzzwords and mantras somehow smooths all that away and makes it non-existent, again, is naive at best. So, Cantor advises in his book, The Psychopathology of Everyday Life, how antisocial personality disorder affects all of us, that vulnerability to psychopathic manipulators involves being too dependent. Dependent people need to be loved and are therefore gullible and liable to say yes to something which they should say no. So you see a lot of that. The bandwagon comes into play here. Gullible people who are emotionally attached to certain gurus or characters, who refuse to see the manipulative, deceptive ways because they just want to feel part of something, regardless of what is actually going on. Immature, has impaired judgment and so tends to believe exaggerated claims. Naive, cannot believe there are dishonest people in the world, or takes it for granted that if there are any, they will not be allowed to prey on others. Impressionable, overly seduced by charmers. For example, they might vote for the seemingly charming politician who kisses babies. That's a perfect example. That's part of the NLP tactics used by psychopaths in power. Because they know there's a majority of people who at heart are kind, caring, loving. So they use NLP image-based tactics to try and give you the perception of these people being something that they're not. Again, we bring in the mantras. I'm a Christian, I'm full of love and empathy, I love you, this. As soon as I see somebody that feels the need to project anything like that at me, I'm suspicious of them. They're trying to pull a veil over my eyes to who they actually are. I don't need your projections. I will interact with you. I will get to know you and see for myself. Encourage that same standard for everybody else. Trusting. People who are honest often assume that everyone else is honest, only if you're in a naive state. They are more likely to commit themselves to people they hardly know without checking credentials. And credentials doesn't mean a bit of paper where some government official gave them their approval. Checking credentials for me is your experience, your interaction. Holding your cards close to your chest until a time has elapsed. Because manipulators and deceivers will put all sorts of veils in front of you. But very little of them, unless they're a real refined expert, can maintain that consistently over a period of time. So you bide your time, you give the rope, you wait. And if they are walking with integrity, honesty, compassion, love, respect, that will be apparent through their walk. No their projections and their buzzwords and their mantras. So, without checking credentials, etc., and less likely to question so-called experts or gurus, internet celebrities, idols. Carelessness, not giving sufficient amount of thought or attention on harm or errors. Lonely people may accept any offer of human contact. A psychopathic stranger may offer human companionship for a price. So again, when we get into these kind of realms of, thinking outside the box, questioning official narratives, you are a minority. It can be a lonely process, and some people feel isolated in that place. Now, when you see fluffy characters projecting themselves, inviting you into their place of loveliness and warmth, be very, very careful. Narcissists are prone to falling for unmerited flattery. So again, you're wonderful, you're amazing. I love and respect you across this international flat plane of existence, my strange friend. Narcissists love that. They eat it right up. I'm not interested in you licking my fucking ass. Again, my attentions and my respect will be earned through time on your walk. No because you try and ram your tongue right up my cake. Impulsive, make snap decisions about, for example, what to buy or whom to marry without consulting others. Know that you need others for any of that. I don't agree with that one. But we could place that in regards to, who you get yourself involved with on an impulse. Maybe stemming from your own insecurities, your loneliness, your naivety. Altruistic, the opposite of psychopathic, too honest, too fair, too empathic. Again, falling under the realms of naive. People who want an ideal world that matches what they profess they are. Altruistic. I've met very little of that in my life, to be honest with you. But there are people there who do display these types of traits. Frugal, cannot say no to a bargain even if they know the reason it is so cheap. The greedy and dishonest may fall prey to a psychopath who can easily entice them to act in an immoral way. We can discuss moral principles. Masochistic, lack self-respect, and so unconsciously let psychopaths take advantage of them. They think they deserve it out of a sense of guilt. The elderly can become fatigued and less capable of multitasking. When hearing a sales pitch, they are less likely to consider that could be a con, blah, blah, blah. Motivations of manipulators, the need to advance their own purpose and personal gain at virtually any cost to others, regardless of whether they're slandering, telling barefaced lies, being abusive. We'll see some of that. The strong need to attain feelings of power and superiority in relationships with others. I'm the best, I'm the first, I've done more than you, I'm this, I'm that. I want and need to feel in control. A desire to gain a feeling of power over others in order to raise their perception of self-esteem. Boredom or growing tired of their surroundings, seeing it as a game more than hurting others. Covert agenda, criminal or otherwise, including financial manipulation, often seen when the elderly, blah, blah, blah. It's not just about financial though, psychological as well. Okay, covert agendas. So, now that we've laid out some of these aspects, now remember, these people profess they are Christian. So again, we'll start with this Russian vids character. Now again, for anybody who doesn't know, this guy came in with the very same traits, arse licking, professing, trying to cozy up, then started making comments about how things are not enough, displaying again narcissistic tendencies. Nobody asked them. Nobody requested them that they come over and pass their judgment or to try and take control of another's private channel. They have their own. No need to try and control and manipulate others to be what you want them to be. Go and walk your own fucking walk. But that's how this started, when they displayed the types of behaviours. Now this guy, once he was pointed out and told to get to fuck for being a dishonest little lying prick, has continually made hit piece videos, and all this chap ever does is make hit piece videos slandering people, trying to place relevance on irrelevant nonsense, disempowering drivel, keeping people in fear, stagnation, while professing they are the opposite and projecting that people like me are the ones who don't offer anybody anything. Yet again, look at the walk. I'm here showing my face. I have offered everything for nothing. I go in the street, I engage with people, I extend myself to people. Do these people? No. They just continually make slanderous hit piece videos and try and place relevance on race, trying to make you a racist, generalising races and groups of people, being against transgenders or people who are gay, as if that's got any relevance. Again, these things are in the realms of subjectivity, no the objective. But we have people who are trying to place relevance on that, standing on the grounds of being judgmental, anti-Christian, the total opposite of a Christian teaching as far as I can read and get testimony from. So, the latest episode was this one. So, let's have a wee quick scan through to see if we can find any, focus on a content or anything that's useful to anybody or empowering in any way, shape or form that's relevant to this topic, this question of the objective.
When it comes to the Flat Earth shills, when I first started making Flat Earth videos back in 2015, I stated how this was a controlled release. Even though the Flat Earth is the truth, just like 9/11, there's a huge debate, of course, and that got stale. And then the people behind the scenes pulling the strings wanted this debate to be put out there. There's definitely, again, these people that are giving you partial truth, but also leading people down a path.
So the partial truths is this cock breath professing that he's a Christian and a truther, but yet not once have I ever seen him offering anything that empowers an individual. No talk of the trivium, no talk of the process of discernment, how the human mind works, what people are susceptible to. Absolutely none of that. It's just all fear porn, propaganda, slander. The case in point, he's calling this female Elisa. The people know that Elisa has been on my live broadcasts. Elisa, in the very early days, spoke openly about her affiliations with people like David Icke and why she removed herself from them. Now again, I'm not standing up for this, for Elisa Hawke on a personal level, because I don't have an interaction on a personal level. I can only look at what the person has offered me in regards to their walk. So, before I go any further, let me just have a wee look at Elisa's channel. Let me just make sure that that's sharing that. Yep. So, what I'm looking for here on Elisa's channel will tell me a bit about her walk. Now, as far as I can see, she's been upfront and honest with me. She's been upfront and honest when she came on. She spoke openly, as I've said, about her previous and who she was involved with, her motivations for why and the reasons for why she parted company. Now, that's there in public on my platform that you can go and check for yourself. Now, as I look through Elisa's, content here, she seems to be minding her own fucking business, walking her own walk, offering empowerment to people, talking about alternative medicines, cannabis oil, interviewing people, having conversations with them, obviously discussing, Caribbean midlife crisis, relating some of her experiences. Here, she made a sequence comedy in regards to mainstream science and what it would be like for a debate to happen between mainstream science and Eric Dubay, which is comical aspects to it. Again, no slander. I'm not seeing any slander or hatred or racism being portrayed here. Who are we? Talking about existential questions, philosophizing, some history stuff, more history stuff, heal yourself fast. Again, sharing personal experience, talking about alternative medicine, talking about mainstream government involvement in alternative media. Again, I'm still not coming across any hit piece videos or slanderous content here. I'm not seeing anything misleading. I'll just scroll through it slowly. Obviously displaying some of your stand-up comedy routines. Again, some interviews, open discussions with people. Again, showing clearly that she used to have her own podcast that she's stated before, previously when she came here. Some yoga, again, sharing some of her experience. More interviews, make marijuana medicine. If anybody can point out any slanderous propaganda hit piece nonsense on here, show me it. Absolutely none. Now let's have a listen to Dick Breath. And I'm calling him Dick Breath. It's not an ad hominem. I am not trying to sway anybody here. I've had experience of this character, and as far as I'm concerned, he's a fucking dick breath. Stated to his fucking face, although I've never seen his shitebag face. He is a dick breath. I'm not saying that to sway anybody. Make your own discernment. As far as I'm concerned, he's a fucking cockroach, a snake in the grass, propagandist, government little fucking lick spittle. Fear porn, slander, lies, dishonesty, deceit, all the traits of a narcissistic, psychopathic, manipulative, abusive, little fucking cockmuncher.
Path with this info, and one agent here in place, 100% without a shadow of a doubt, is Alyssa Hawk, and she's
so here we have outright claims that you have to consider as slanderous. Let's see if he offers anything in regards to some objective content about his slanderous claim. Again, none being offered in my regard either. Look at his tattoos. Mythical, mystical nonsense, and I say so. Let's cherry pick wee bits, take things out of context, and it misrepresents somebody. More slander.
connected, and after this presentation's over, she's done. Just along with Dell.
This is, again, listen to this narcissistic little fucking cock end. He's done. I'm still fucking sitting here, you fucking useless Tolly. So's Elisa. Nobody's done. You're done, cunty balls. You have no integrity. You don't stand in objective truth. You're not trying to empower anybody. You're an opposer, fucko. You're done. And all your desperation, trying to claw back some, remnant of fucking, relevance has failed miserably. Well, look at your sock puppets and the cock ends that are there supposedly supporting you. They're delusional if they are real. Anti-Christian.
Who she's connected with, who's appeared many times alongside with Dell, even with the podcast with Eric Dubé.
Connected with, appeared side many times. Just like Fanny Balls here. Stuck his nose in and popped on the Hangouts numerous times. So he's making all this slanderous stuff, but he's immune. So he's been here. So if that was the case and we were that, he must be considered the same then. Because he's been here. More times than Elisa. Is he offering anything yet in regards to his slanderous claims? No.
Dubé, which I'll get into Eric Dubé a little bit more in the future. I'll make.
I know he's, again, this is another tactic of people. A manipulator, they feel the need to put other people down to try and make themselves relevant. More signs of psychopathic, narcissistic, propagandist behaviour. I don't feel the need to put anybody down. Put anybody in a box to make myself relevant. It's not a competition of relevance and stature and subscribes and likes. That's what this idiot is all about.
Make a video on him as well, that dirtbag, that dirtball that needs to be exposed.
Dirtball, dirtbag. He doesn't know me or any of these people. I'm a family man. I live in a community where I'm known. And you get fucking cockends like this running about slandering, inciting hatred, racism, sexism.
That's something but an agent as a shill as well. You see this.
I think we all know who the agent in the shill is, mate. Right? It's you. You offer nothing. You're a faceless potato that just makes hit piece videos. I've yet to see any empowering. Have you brought to their knees one Masonic lodge? Have you brought to their knees and confronted and had justice on the perpetrators of 9/11? Have you achieved any of that, son? No. All you do is bump your gums, producing fear porn, propaganda, disinfo, muddying the waters, division.
This hideous beast, Alyssa in the background talking to Dell. Let's just get
hideous beast. What kind of ways that to talk about anybody that you don't know? That's defamatory, slander, hurtful. I could probably gauge that Elisa's strong enough emotionally not to let any of that get to her. But, I'm suggesting that that would be the case. I don't really know. For all I know, it is hurtful to her. And she's affected emotionally. And so would some of these other people that he, tries to make out are, no worthy of any emotional contemplation or empathy. Treats people like they're objects to spew hatred at. That's not an empath. That's not a Christian. That's a hate-filled, bile-filled, spunk-filled little fucking lick-spittle.
right to it, what she says here. Embellishing, basically lying about being involved with Flat Earth Truth going back to 2015. Just take a listen here, and I'm going to break this liar down.
Hey, no, anyway, these friends of mine, 2015, I started to say the Earth is flat. They were like, that's amusing.
Now, remember, she just said in 2015 she was breaking down how the Earth was flat. Now, with this interview with another fraud, Ken O'Keefe, nothing but a gatekeeper. He's appeared on, of course, Alex Jones. He's appeared, of course, on Russian TV.
Listen, he just says these things about these people. He never dissects any content. He never openly shows what these people are actually saying. He'll cherry pick wee bits, just like your mainstream media does, to slander people. He doesn't know Elisa. How does he know her personal interactions? Where's his proof? Just because he had a date on a YouTube channel? I was talking about this before I appeared on YouTube. I talk about this to people every single day that doesn't appear on YouTube, and so do many others. He's not offering anything.
RT News, also BBC News. I mean, they're all connected. But again, getting back to the point, with this video from 2015 with Ken O'Keefe. Let's take a look here. Okay? Again, here's the published date, November 4th, 2015. Let's see what's highlighted here. What is stated. Talking about the global awakening with one of the strongest unscripted speakers on the planet. Okay? This is her channel.
So, Elisa's judgment, regards to this character and her motives, or hers, whatever, just because she puts that in there means nothing. Loads of people have said it. Global awakening, aye. People are awakening to the globe lie. There's people running about calling themselves that. Globe lie. People with globe in their titles. What does that mean?
Give me a break. Now let's take a listen to what is said here. Again, this liar, this fraud, and again...
A liar, a fraud, the amount of slanderous things that have been said, and we're only 2 minutes into this. He better have some meat and bones here, which I highly doubt he's got. He just likes to emotively influence people with buzzwords, assertions, tonality to the voice. He's a right sneaky little fucking manipulator, this wee cunt.
All the shows are connected. Let's take a look.
You're right, and we'll have a look at some of them, fucko. Because I can see your fake Christian professions, and your other characters in your comments that we'll have a look at right after this one, sonny boy.
Listen, and this fraud is going to be exposed in many ways.
Laughing about the fact that
She's a fraud. She's up there, showing herself openly and openly discussed her previous. Openly. But again, cherry picking. Likes to omit these things. Leave them out. Don't show the whole spectrum, because then people would realise I was full of shit.
there's like 6 of us here tonight making this global TV show going out to the world, and
This global TV show going out to the world. Okay, let's continue.
there's hundreds of people obviously involved around TPV, but
Maybe you should ask Elisa at what point in 2015 she actually came to the realisation. A year's quite a long time.
Hundreds of people involved with this TV program. Hundreds of people. So how does someone like yourself get propped up and put on TV, so-called globally? So again, it's pretty obvious. She's embellished to Dell, saying she was involved with Flat Earth going back to 2015. She's talking about global, and again, being on TV.
She was this and then again, and you're easy emotively using these things as if he's making valid points, but they're empty. He's no offering anything. He's just using NLP tactics to try and sway the gullible who are fucking blindly watching him. He's fucking offering absolutely nothing. Even the title of this satanic shit, professing you're a Christian and going by that type of, religious ideology, you cunty balls are the Satanist. You're making slanderous hit piece, passing judgments on people, encouraging hatred. You're a fucking moron. You're no a bright spark at all. Thick as 2 short planks, sonny boy.
But hundreds of people behind this television program. Let's continue on here.
it doesn't take much to really do something different, and people really think about what other people think of them. I've had lots.
Now listen to this, and she's going to blow her cover right away with the very well-known show. Again, they're all connected.
Lots of people agree to do an interview on this show, and then a couple of days later write and say, "Oh, it's not David Icke, is it?" And I think, oh my God, but in time they'll want to be on the show. That's how I look at it.
So right there, a meeting connected to David Icke. You can listen to this whole entire interview, and they talk about David Icke.
Again, he acts as if he's exposing some unknown facet. Elisa Hawke told everybody her story the very first time she appeared on The People Beyond the Imaginary Curve. It's all there. So what's he talking about? As if it's a big secret that he's uncovered, trying to give people the illusion that he's a deep researcher. All he does is use NLP pish with buzzwords and empty mantras.
and how David Icke lets her run the show basically on her own. So definitely connected. And one very important aspect I always talk about are signs and symbols. And the Masons always leave clues to the truth in their publications. Here's one by very famous Freemason Manly P. Hall. When the human race learns to read the language of symbolism, a great veil will fall from the eyes of men. And that brings me back to the screenshot, a little bit of a closer look.
The language of symbolism. There is aspects in our society, you know, aspects of the Masons, aspects of the Jesuits, the Jews, every fucking race and walk of life, that these psychopathic manipulators, that they come in all forms, shapes and sizes, different races, different affiliations with, different organisations. It's as somebody who's meant to be intellectually honest and pursuing truth, to generalise is a base flaw in your fallacious reasoning and logic. So they may use aspects, vehicles in different organisations to achieve certain goals, but to generalise that all the Masons and all the Jews and all the Jesuits are somehow evil doers is absolutely moronic. Every gang may have its symbols that people in that gang relate to. Symbols are useful for you to understand in regards to your attachment, your understanding, your relationship to them. Because they can have a subtle effect on you. They can influence your emotional processes, your thinking, based on your association with them. One symbol to me and what is relevant in my walk may be totally different to yours. They are inanimate. They don't really mean anything unless you're affiliated and it has some meaning to you or your group. To me, they mean fuck all. I don't need to see a symbol to judge somebody's walk. Again, going back to the beginning, I will discern through time consistency, integrity, contradiction, hypocrisy. I will see it all when I'm dealing with manipulative, lying, deceptive people, because they cannot keep it up for forever. They will start to crack and show themselves. Again, going back to your naivety, your discipline. Recognise yourself, what you're susceptible to. Hold your cards close to your chest. Stand on your own feet. You don't fucking need approval or acceptance from anybody. When you're in those states of mind, you will be deceived. You'll be used and abused.
And what do you see? The obvious in plain sight 666. And actually, here's a mirror reflection of the 666 as well in the background of this sellout whore. And that's all she is.
A sellout whore. Are you going to substantiate this in any way, shape or form, son? Are you just going to continue to insult a female?
Yes. Okay? And just a closer look at the 666 symbolism in plain sight. This is how they do it. Just take a look here at David Icke himself. And this photo with this female. And clearly the symbolism. You know, they speak with their hands in the 666 hand sign. Just like Alex Jones. Okay, this is how they do it. Just like you have here another.
This is how they do it. This is how they do. What are they doing, son? All I see you doing is pointing at these people doing 666. Where's your content offering the individual the tools of discernment and to empower themselves? The things that have been offered in abundance here at this platform, yet you'll still say we offer nothing except water's level. Where is your real content that helps to empower anybody and make real change, fucko? Where is it?
Fraud, another charlatan in Louis Farrakhan, as he's supposedly exposing the Star of David. Take a look what's right behind him. There's your 666. Okay? This is how they do it. Just like
who? Can you be specific? Can you pinpoint the personnel who are actually responsible for any of this stuff? Can you? Huh? You just there to muddy the waters so that these people that you're the lick spittle for don't ever be held accountable because you're just titillating people with drivel, buzzwords and mantras, fear porn. Huh?
Walt Disney and this Disney store, the 666 in plain sight. Okay, they all do it. Here's CERN, the European, of course, the European Organization for so-called Nuclear Research, just like NASA, nothing but a fraud. And
so again, this guy's pointing at these things in regards to a kind of biblical cosmology or existential meaning to life, right? So he points at all this 666, 666. Look at his walk. Again, he's a professing Christian, pulling the wool over people's eyes, trying to. Because again, his display, his character is of slander, narcissism, lies, deceit, dishonesty. So what's he really up to? Huh?
and of course Google Chrome, and also again with all these salads and
He's
deceivers.
pointing all this stuff like it's satanic and inanimate numbers are satanic, but ignore his behaviours that are showing you that he's a manipulative liar, probably psychopathic.
You're going to see that commonality with the symbols. Just like I showed earlier with
Go and ask Lisa if it was her that put that up there, and then ask her, what the relevance is, and expose something with meat and bones that we can all get our teeth into, and then bring these people to justice or whatever the fuck it is you think you're going to achieve.
Dell and the 666. So
666. It's earth, air, fire, and water. That's the 4 symbols down there. That's what they represent to me. That's what they are. Right there.
it's very easy to piece together how they're all.
Aye, I'm a Secret Service agent. I'm in the SAS or the SBS, right? Or the CIA or the FBI or some undercover operations, right? Aye, I'm in the SBS, right? So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tattoo SBS right across the top of my forehead. People like me, people like Lisa are out in the open, showing who we are. You see where I live. You're invited to come and visit me. I'm not affiliated with any organisation. Just a fucking man. In a housing scheme. Poor as fuck, like the majority of the rest of you. So, I'm a satanic Jew Mason, baby eating something. Secret. But I put it all on my body so that you can see it.
Working together. Okay, let's take a look here as well. When it comes to, again, that fraud, Eric Dubé, that dirtball, and here he is.
Dirtball frauds. I mean, it's just all name calling. Just all name calling. Still name meat and bones. Absolutely nothing. NLP, tonality to voice, emotively trying to influence people with drivel.
Is with Alyssa. Again, how clear can it be that they're all connected? I'll make a longer presentation.
So anybody that you speak to, right, this is the thing with people, anybody you speak to, that includes Russian Vids, he's not getting away with being, excluded from this. All must be connected. So the very people that he's accusing that he's interacted with, he's the same then. He's in on it, according to his idiotic logic and reasoning. Again, no the brightest spark, this chappie.
Eric Dubé, this person needs to be exposed as a fraud.
Well, we're waiting for you. You keep talking about exposing and this, that and the other, but nobody's seen any results off you, mate. Although you keep professing you're some champion Christian guy. All I see is you bumping your gums and slandering people. A wee sweetie wife, bitch, gossip. Could you perhaps focus on actual content that people are offering rather than just calling them names? If you had an issue with content, great. Let's have a discussion. Let's focus on the product that's being offered and have a look through it, and then we can have a discussion on the objective aspects. But your sweetie mouth name calling just doesn't wash, son.
That he is. He does speak the flat earth truth, but again, that's just to pull people in, and everything else he speaks about is nothing but disinfo. You know,
just generalising again. Everything else is disinfo. Where's the specifics? Can you hone in on specific objective content, produce that's been offered by any of these people, and have a discussion about that? I don't mean cherry picking wee bits that you can put together in order to portray and slander even more. Fuckface.
they're playing the same tricks on the so-called truth movement over and over.
You're playing the tricks, wee man. Your antics are known now. We're looking at your walk, what you're offering in regards to content. I don't give a fuck. I'm not focusing on you on a personal level. I'm not slandering you. Never have done. Don't feel the need. I don't need to put you down to make myself feel superior. We're all on the level, sonny boy. Nobody's above anybody. The only thing I can do is look at content, produce, and discern for myself whether I like it or don't. Then I can give my honest discernment of what is being offered to me, which I have the right to do. So does everybody else. But when we get cock-breasts like you, who offer nothing but schoolyard bully tactics and slander, sweetie wife fucking bitching, that's no use to anybody, son. You're the fucking problem. You're either mentally retarded and unstable, or you're a deceptive little cockend that knows exactly what he's up to. This is your agenda. That's your task, son. Nothing you offer has got anything in it whatsoever. Absolutely useless. I'm not going to further my chances of finding out where I am based on slandering people, fear-porning people. What's that going to achieve? Nothing.
People are not paying attention to details. That's why they're easily
You're
deceived.
right, they're not paying attention to detail. Because if they were paying attention to detail, you'd have fucking no views on your channel, you knob. The majority of your views and your sock puppets are there to help you. Because you've no got anything. You're useless. No spark, no creativity. Fuck all. Sweetie mouth pish.
Okay, let's take a look here. You say, Lisa, she doesn't know about this. She's just working for David Icke and has no idea about the satanic symbolism.
How do you know? When I see people on the TV, they don't know the fucking stage props. It's nothing to do with them. It's other people that do that.
Implant said, oh yeah, let's take a look here at her Facebook page. Posted on her wall January 16th of this year. Christianity, because you're so awful, you made God kill himself. So again, the mockery of Christ, just like, of course, as mentioned.
Excuse me, son. The only mockery of Christ's teachings I can see strongly and obviously is coming from you and your wee cronies that I'm going to point at in a wee minute. Because they're the same. Any professing Christian who listens to this cockend and his antics and thinks it's somehow Christ-like are fucking deluded at best.
Many people know this dirtbag Eric Dubé and his videos on Jesus Christ never existed. He claims also Hitler's some type of hero. Nothing but a clown.
Well, I'm going to say the same. It's up for interpretation. Was it an actual literal man? Is it a state of mind? Seems to be a mixture. Ambiguity in the whole, religion. And the same as the rest of the religions. No just Christianity. All of them. Because every single fucking one of them is a substitute. That doesn't negate that there's some useful points being made, some interesting aspects of each and every one that may or may not have actual truth in them. But that's by the by. You're the one shiting on real Christianity. Slandering, lying, judging. You're the opposite. How are you going to wriggle out of this, son?
Deceiver. You want to see a clown? You want to take this person
listen to a clown.
Seriously as far as truth? Look at this dirtball. What does it say in the Bible? Don't dress as a female if you're a male. This is how they work. They work on opposites. Just like this dirt.
Does it, what kind of, intellectual teaching would give a fuck about any of that? Surely it would be based on your walk, how you treat others. Huh? What kind of fucking idiotic deity would you worship that casts judgment on what you wear, or what your skin colour is, or what you put on your skin? What kind of fucking moron deity would you be worshipping there anyway? Cock end. It's got fuck all to do with it. Surely it would be on how you treat others, how you walk your walk. Nah, that doesn't matter, does it?
As well, with Alyssa on her YouTube channel playing the role of Neil deGrasse Tyson. She also does a parody of Joe Rogan. Of course, playing the role of a male. Working the role of opposites, like I said so many times.
Working the role of opposites. New artistic expression, comedy, is somehow get meat and bones to it. You're still not making any point here. Nothing. Absolutely fuck all. Total empty garbage. Should be abundantly clear to anybody that he's offering absolutely nothing. This guy.
And of course, all the connections with all the known shills, with Alyssa interviewing. How does she get these interviews with all these known shills? Of course, again, being connected to David Icke.
Again, just telling everybody they're just known shills. How did she get right? How did you go onto my podcast? Fuckface. Why did you come sticking your nose in my business? Fucko. That's the behaviour of a shill. Trying to brush up alongside, arse-licking, projecting, so you can try and worm your way in. I seen you coming a fucking mile away. You're the one that's displaying all these characteristics. You, son.
You have Ken O'Keefe, like I showed. You have James Corbett, her very first YouTube interview with James Corbett, a known shill. Mark Passio, basically a Satanist, deceiver.
Oh, well, that must be in the same group, because I've had you on my live broadcasts then. You're a shill. You're satanic. Your walk shows that you're that. What's my walk? Willingness to understand, protection of freedom of expression, letting everybody be what they want to be, minding my own fucking business, taking Christians off the street, feeding them, housing them, heating them, giving them money to go home because they're on some religious endeavour, some experience. Nobody else in the scheme took them in. I took them in. I'm out walking the dog. 3 Christians, the police are pulling up. I ask what's going on. These people are champing doors looking for somewhere to live for the night. They're on a expedition to see humanity and to see where, kindness, they will be met with kindness and compassion. Who would take them in? Fucko here. The satanic, baby-eating Jew Mason. 3 strangers. Come in. I have a partner, a female, and 2 young children. There's money that I've no got. What have you got on your channel, son?
And Cindy Sheehan, and you got to be seriously, completely blind and not able to see how these people are all connected.
You need to be blind to see how people like you operate and how you are the agent provocateur. You're put in place to muddy the waters, to divide the individual, to never empower them, to keep them endlessly chasing their tail on mythical nonsense.
It's a joke. Cindy Sheehan on InfoWars, nothing basically than a Christ actor. Here she is with Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton. I mean, again, if you cannot see these people are all connected, you're completely blind. Looks like a dude as well. Another trans investigation needed.
And what? What if it is a guy? What relevance is that to anything? That's up to them if they want to be a guy. I think you're a woman. You display bitchy woman type characteristics. I think you really are a woman. But it doesn't matter to me. I don't give a fuck if you're. Shows your fanny. Let me see your tits. I don't care. Told you, I'll send you that empty box of fucks that I give for any of this irrelevant crap that you offer. You passing judgment again? Huh? Shashrani. And? Are you new against them? You want to marginalise them and oppress them? Witch hunt them? Is that what you're offering? A mad witch hunter? It's none of my business. Somebody wants to chop their penis off and turn it into a vagina. Doesn't affect me. I don't feel the need to shut them down or project anything at them. It's of no relevance to me. What's of relevance to me is how they treat me, how my interaction is with them. That doesn't matter, does it? No, I've just to pass judgment on superficial nonsense.
And again, all the connections with all these fraudsters. Let's take a look here as well when it comes to, again, James Corbett.
He doesn't know any of these people. For all he knows, these people could be in any sort of circumstance that requires some compassion towards them. I don't know these people's circumstances. How could I ever dare to pass judgment on there and profess that I was open-minded and an honest intellect, or empathetic or compassionate in any way, shape or form? I don't know any of these people's circumstances, reasons for why they are where they are, or why they do what they do. None of that's known to me. How could I ever pass judgment on them? Again, is that the Christian thing to be doing? Ask yourself that question.
On Alex Jones, Mark Passio once again on Alex Jones InfoWars, and what do you see in the background? This door.
So we've went from me and Elisa Hawke, and now we're into all these other people, and I'm still waiting for something, some meat and bones, some fact-based things that are relevant, that are going to empower people and progress the whole thing forward. I've heard idiotic clowns like this for 20 years, way before this fucking agent was put in place. He's a noob, this fucking retard.
Again, about symbolism in plain sight, you see two diamonds. Each diamond is a 33. You have your dual 33s. How they...
For fuck's sake, you better watch now. You don't have any diamond shapes or squares or, there only is 9 numbers. You're going to come across 6 and 3s and all that quite a lot. So you better be careful, people.
love to code things. And again, with Ken O'Keefe, this fraudster...
Fuck codes and symbols. I'm looking at walks. I'm looking at content that's being offered. And right now, you're exposing yourself as anti-Christian, manipulative, deceitful, liar.
This fake hero, nothing but it, basically an actor on BBC. Okay, no true speaker.
How about telling people they can remove their attention? They don't have to watch the BBC. If they remove their attention from it, it becomes irrelevant. But I never hear you saying any of that. I never hear you putting responsibility at the individual's feet for what's affecting them and what they're contributing to. All I ever see is blaming some mythical, invisible creatures and beings that you never bring to account.
Appear on these major news networks. And here again with Alex Jones Show and Ken O'Keefe. So again, another shill bites the dust, very easily exposed. And again,
exposed and bites the dust. I mean, just mantras again, assertions. More signs of a narcissistic tendencies. Blindly delusional to his own ineptitude. Absolute fucking moron.
It all comes down to symbolism and how they're all connected.
Again, I don't see Elisa or any of that making slanderous hit piece videos continually. That's you that's doing that.
Did without a shadow of a doubt. And when people realize what you're dealing with, and again, I talk about Dell and how basically, he talks about water being level, not getting anybody further than that, and basically keeping this
all I do is talk about water being level, don't get anybody following that. Again, I think this guy forgets that there's a backlog there. That everybody can go and check. That everybody knows I go out in the streets, interact with all sorts, blew apart the nonsense of the globe argumentation, highlighted the sophistry, the red herring fallacies, whittled it right down to the bare bones of it. Walking a walk of no passing judgment on people, offering my empathy, my willingness to understand, defending even Dick Breath's right to be who he wants to be. And I still defend it.
stop debate alive. Never ask the question.
It keeps a non-stop debate alive. I'm the only one from the beginning who says it's not a debate, son.
About why they're lying about the shape of the earth. And again,
Never ask the questions about why they're lying about the shape of the earth. Go to the very third video, right way back, and listen to what I'm saying. Stated clearly, they're lying about the shape of the earth because it's a psychological blinding mechanism, a hypnotic image to rob people of their foundation, to disorientate them so that they can never make sense of anything. What they may be hiding out there is unknown to anybody, which is why I have always, and the only one who ever pushes for full exploration. Go and see if you can find that anywhere else. You'll never find it. You'll never find it in Dick Breath's channel either. This is why they don't like me. This is why they make slanderous videos and accumulate on numbers to slander. Because they know the message that I push is to empower each and every individual and to have full exploration and not take any bullshit. The last thing they want is us escaping the confines of where we are. And little gatekeeper prick here is hell-bent on making sure that we don't ever escape the confines of our psychology or physical incarceration. Barefaced lying. Again,
I said it many times. It's not about the shape of the earth. It's about the lie. It never states how the so-called Big Bang that created the ball Earth out of nothing is to disprove a creator.
Is it? We've spoken about that many, many times. Again, spoke about the whole heliocentric model and the Big Bang nonsense and how it came from Jesuit priests. No Freemasons, Jesuit priests. So, all Catholics now are what? Will we just generalise? Eh? Why do you never focus on the fact that it's a mindset that can be profiled and identified and pointed out, like you, like what we're doing right now, showing your profile, showing your walk, and how you're a deceptive liar. It's not going to go away, sonny boy. You made your bed. You thought you were smart enough. You're no. People new who have surrounded this platform are discerning, too critical, don't take anybody's fucking shite. They see morons like you coming a fucking mile away. That's not getting back in the bag either. Same as the scientism, globe heliocentric bollocks and its whole narrative. That's not getting back in the bag. There's nothing you can do to stop any of this, sonny boy. Which is why you hide. Hide in anonymity. Because you're scared. You're a shite bag. You have no spine.
The flat earth with a firmament proves a creator. So the bottom line of this whole entire...
No, he's making statements as a firmament. Where's your proof of that? What do you mean? Can you define firmament? And can you show me your objective proofs of how you know that to be the case? No, you bloody well cannot. Again, he's trying to push a cosmology of enclosed, trapped, can't get out, but has nothing to back it up. Again, you know, from the very beginning, and again, go to the very first few videos, you'll hear me talking about this. We need the exploration. No fanny balls here like him telling you there's a firmament and domes and all that, so that we fall back into another false cosmology. That's not happening in my watch, sonny boy. I want to know what it actually is. And again, probably why you're on task to try and shut that message down, which is why you have nothing to offer in regards to content, any meat and bones. All you have is slander. It just fuels me, makes me laugh. Doesn't hurt my fusies. My fusies are not attached to idiotic, irrelevant cock breasts like you, sonny boy. I wouldn't spit in you.
Presentation, people need to be a little bit wiser and understand that these people will try to pull you in with some truth. I'm not saying they don't give you some truth, but again, that's just a bait, that's just a trap.
Everything that comes from me is fucking truth. I've got nothing to hide. I'm not trying to manipulate anybody, monetize, gain money or stature out of any of this. None whatsoever. And you know that. And it fucking eats you up.
To pull you in and keep you locked in a box.
Is that it? Oh, there we go, there's the meat and bones again. Nothing. So let's have a look, shall we? Flat out elected another dipshit who professes he's some sort of loving Christian type guy. He thinks this is brilliant. He's advocating slander, propaganda, hatred, racism, and has made hit piece videos also of slander. Mike Helmick, great stuff, brother. Watched and liked. Really, Mike? Let me go to your channel, Mike. What a sin. This guy's a professing Christian. Judging of Christians, judging governments. Judge within, judge not yet, ye must judge. That's not what your fucking teachings is telling you, son. Make judgments on given situations that you may be involved in. But being judgmental, no. That's not allowed in your religious ideology. But yet, you do so and you engage so and you promote fucking idiots like him and think it's great, although he's offered nothing. So these characters here are just as bad as him and probably affiliated to the same agenda, which is to profess that they're Christians although they're the total opposite, to confuse people, steal the narrative, to try and coerce this whole thing into a fucking absolute farce. RV touched Dubai 2 years ago. Law, is this the sequel? Oh, goody. So again, loving hearts about slandering people and bringing people down with nothing. Awesome vid. What about, I mean, he's offered you nothing. Great video exposing these fake shills. The world is awakening to this false world. You're right, Paul Newcomb, but you're fucking delusional about what's actually going on. You better get your wee head right out your ass and stop licking this agent provocateur. You're the best at seeing stuff. Seeing what? He's not got any meat and bones. There's nothing that he's offering anybody. Let's see, shall we? There's another character in here. Dale looks like a strung out junkie again. All meant to be Christians being judgmental on a person's appearance. How superficial is that? Is that the Christian way? These people, as far as I can see, are giving that Christian message a right bad name. And if you are a true Christian, you should fucking remove your attention for these people immediately. Roxanne, the globalist denier. So again, going back to some of these attributes, this person appears from nowhere, tries to brush up the side of me with arse-licking nonsense. And then when asked to, about our content in regards to being naive and professing love and respect and unity to everybody, as soon as any of that was questioned, her and her crew en masse started slandering me again, to the point where she's on camera making physical threats of violence with her husband, with a pair of scissors, about how they're going to get physical with me. Love and light, people, love and light. You can see the affiliations here of these types of characters because they're one and the same, and you'll see her superficial antics are fake and loving gratitudes. Absolute morons. Let me have a look here. So flat out elected. Russian Vids nails it. Flat earth truth. This is him mirroring that latest nonsense. One man, he's a detector. Dale is a Satanist. Do not support him, period. Now donate money to me. Lol, you sad money loving junkie. Can tell who your God really is. Money, exactly. One man, he's detector. It's great to see people there giving these fucking idiots a hard time and exposing them. MB. Russian Vids cherry-picked lines to fit his narrative by taking Dell's words out of context from a vid Dell made exposing Satanism. All Dell was saying and encouraging people was to read the literature and no let propagandists and fearmongers sway you from a ignorant point of view. Empower yourself. Understand what's being spoke about so that you're not influenced by these characters. It's obvious this upload is trying to discredit a genuine realist by projecting his own hatred without having the balls to confront Dell on his open platform. Flat Out Elected was called a while ago for making hit piece videos, still never stepped up to the marks because they know they don't have a leg to fucking stand on. As soon as they come in here, the real crux of the matter is going to get discussed and we're going to have a real look at what they're offering. And they've not got the cojones to sit there because they're liars. And they know that it would be obvious. So the only thing they can do is sit over there, trying to still sway the gullible, the naive, the ignorant. That's their target audience. Only low-life scum would go to the trouble of slandering a defenceless behind their backs. Exactly. When he knows Dell has an open invitation for anybody. Exactly. Lynn, I like this one. Lynn Dunajski. It was only a few months ago that Russian Vids was on Dell's Hangout. He seemed to have no problem with him that day. RV got his feelings hurt and decided to try to hurt Dell. RV never get his feelings hurt. I doubt that he actually has any emotions. He's probably psychopathic. What his problem was is that he couldn't get away with playing his games. Just too smart for him. And outed him right there and then. And he didn't like it. Took a tantrum. A couple of years ago, Dell welcomed some African Christian missionaries into his home for food, shelter, and he paid to put them onto a Greyhound-style bus to get them back to where they came from. Fact. They had been seen by neighbours wandering around the street when Dell heard about it and was the only person interested in helping them. Another fact. Dale actually does a great job going around in streets talking about the reality of where we live. He is polite and a gentleman when he does it. He is no different than Roxanne or James in the way he approaches people minus the signage. Exactly. Except I'm no militant. I don't go out there throwing banners and megaphones in people's faces because that's not conducive to constructive, progressive discussion. Yes, in his shed he's gruff and uses horrible language. It's just language. And exactly. I'm free here to express my way whatever I see fit. The character I invoke, my emotive expressions are what I choose in regards to particular topics and aspects of particular topics. In particular, deceptive lies. I have a vicious hatred to any of that. A serious contempt where I will spew venom, bile and fuck you all day long. He likes to blow off his steam in this way. Exactly. Going back again to the aspects of this, trying to make a fear out of people who express anger and frustration and contempt as if it's somehow a bad thing. At least he actually puts his face out there and where he lives. No one knows anything about Russian Vids. He's never shown his face to anyone. No one even knows his real name. Russian Vids needs to be the centre of attention. He turns on people very quickly once he gets what he wants after he uses them to try to rebuild his channel back. Exactly. I dislike flat earthers making vids trying to hurt other flat earthers. Again, exactly. There's a huge difference between focusing on the content being offered and expressing your disagreements with that than just blatantly slandering people, being a sweetie mouth little bitch and name calling for the sake of it. Huge difference. I also dislike when they take content out of context with edits and only show a snippet of what someone says and says, see, I got him, which is again is exactly a tactic of Mr. Russian Vids. Deceptive liar. Propagandist. Russian Vids should show the dozens of excellent videos where Dell woke up people to flat earth. Russian Vids cherry-picked out a few conversations that didn't go well. The thing is, Dell doesn't edit out the bad ones. Dell is transparent. I don't see anything to be true in what Russian Vids said about Dell. Until Russian Vids is willing to be as transparent, he really has nothing to say that's worth listening to. Fucking spot on. These little lick-spittle hiding behind a screen, passing judgment, professing they're Christians, slandering people. No one knows Dell's heart except Dell and the Lord. Well, here's somebody who's obviously a real Christian or walks that walk, who understands that. If there is some sort of judgment, that's of no man's fucking business. If there is a omnipotent overseer, I'll deal with that when it comes to me. Little fucking men sticking their neb in thinking they're speaking for the Almighty and all that. Absolutely deluded cocks. They'll never ask for money from anyone. Instead of supporting hit pieces, you should just be praying for others. Again, obviously this person understands what it means to be a Christian. Julie Mitchell, obviously a delirious, incompetent, dysfunctional moron. For fuck's sake, can you not see those tattoos? Again, I'll revert back to the SAS. I'm in the secret armed forces and all that, aye, but I'm going to tattoo it across my forehead. Again, Lynn making an excellent point. You have no clue when he got his ink. Have you ever met someone who received a tattoo and later would never even consider the same one years later? People change, people grow up, people learn from mistakes. I'm not saying that, I regret any of it. But my reasons for them were of egotistical, dysfunctional, nonsense reasons, projections. And I've openly spoke about that. Tattoos are permanently extremely difficult to remove. You have to stop judging a book by its cover. Exactly. Again, another aspect of the teaching of Christianity. Don't judge on superficials. Passing judgment on that. This man is a good person who demonstrates this quality by his actions and activism. Again, the walk tells all. You get people who think they can just come along and call you a name, make nonsense up and try and pass that off as somehow credible. Beyond belief. Always making good points. Well said. Here, though, it seems you're supposed to pretend you're a Christian while you push lies and misrepresentations about a man with a young family. Because I see tattoos, duh. Like Jesus had a big thing about the appearance of people and witch hunts, didn't he? Exactly. RV is awesome. And now Mark Wells is quoting things from the Bible, yet is here. This is again about these people muddying the waters and making confusion, right? He's promoting and accepting slanderous nonsense, while at the same time trying to pull up Bible verses. What a confused little chap this is. So, it should be very clear to people. Again, it's nothing to do with me defending myself. I'm using these useful fucking idiots to highlight what they're really about. Because they're no empowering anybody. They're no progressing anything. How he's doing, people. Yeah, again, John Watson, I don't advocate any religion. For me, these are all substitutes. They are symptoms of the bigger picture. Just to subdue people, to stifle people, to give them a false sense of hope and a false sense of security. Because they know human beings are curious and want to ask questions and contemplate their existence. So these things have sprung up as a result of oppression, domination, control, fear. And people have adopted them. And once they've adopted them, they become emotionally attached. And they will defend their delusions against other people's delusions. And that's why we've had wars, that's why we have division amongst people. Because people can't understand that, oh, we want to unify. Well, let's unify under objective. How can we possibly unify under subjective? There is so much complexity to humans. That's an impossibility. The only thing we can unify in subjectivity is you mind your own fucking business. You be what you want to be in your subjective walk, and I'll be what I want to be in my subjective walk. And I'll engage with people who are, aligned with my subjective preferences, and you stay there minding your business with your subjective preferences and we'll be fine. But all these pockets of subjective groups could all unite under the objective if they learn to suspend their subjective ideologies and preferences and make the objective the bigger platform. Then we would have real unity. Yeah, learn about preconceived notions of reality. Exactly. Remove them. They're influencing you. Preconceived notions about anything are influencing you. Flat out elected wants to talk to me, does he now? Well, that'll be interesting. I'm going to open up in a wee minute and see what any of them's got to fucking say. Again, there's no echo chamber here. My comments thread's open. I don't go, well, there's all cherry picked Russian vids and it's all just, promoting him and licking his arse. Again, displaying narcissism. Like, whatever Spurs game are you ready for me? You don't need to big yourself up, son. I'm no impressed or any of that shite, right? Again, if any of you come in here with an uppity fucking attitude, I'm going to fucking shut you down. Brutally. You come in here and you fucking meet me on a level with respect and fucking manners and treat me as an equal, or I'll kick your fucking stones to fuck. Okay? Right. So again, my walk, who I am, my essence, through childhood you learn to reflect. We have this ability of inner reflection. My inner reflections came through my own experience, my interactions, contemplations about any given scenario and looking at things from different points of view. You don't learn that from a book. You learn that through listening to your own internal dialogue and being brutally honest with yourself. You can only deceive yourself. Why am I empathetic? Why am I compassionate? Because I've been in situations where I have reflected. I've been the opposite. I've been on the other end. You reflect, you correct yourself, you adapt, you move on, you apply it to your ever-expanding progressive walk. I would be a moron if I required a book to tell me that. Right, let me see here. Give me a wee second just to open up something else here. Just bear with me a wee second. A bit. Right, do you want to join me? There's a link. Exactly, Rob Redding. And this is why I'm saying you need to watch these people who don't focus on that. They're offering, pseudoscience models, cartoons, concepts, ideas that the majority are entrapping, limiting, no different from being on a fucking globe. Can't go anywhere, you're stuck. I think so too, Mr. Golden V. It is very important. These are the fundamentals. People talk about the bigger picture. This is the bigger picture. It's how you operate as a human being, how your processes are functioning. That's the biggest picture. Hello.
Good evening. Mic check. All coming through?
Aye.
Excellent. Yeah, I know it seems like there's like a split aggression and things, but one of the things I think...
Gonna do me a favour and don't start proselytising. I'm not interested in fucking proselytisers. You're not a fucking guru, son. Speak to me like a fucking man. Have a discussion with me.
Well, that's what I'm trying to establish.
That's fine.
I'm trying to get into a discussion. I'm saying the problem I'm thinking is in Flat Earth is the Flat Earth was given to, as I understand...
What do you mean the problem in Flat Earth? The problem in general? You mean the problem with human beings and their interactions?
No, I'm thinking with the Flat Earth in particular.
Well, I'm not the Flat Earth. I am me. So don't start generalising and, talking across the board like we're all one and the same. Okay?
No, I know, but I mean, you might look at people like Russian Vids or others like, you want to go back and forth with. And I think what the problem is...
I don't want to go back and forth with them either. They're making slanderous hit piece videos. Now, if you get something to add to it...
Well, I'm trying to... you won't let me finish.
Well, never mind your linguistics, son, and get to the point.
Well, the point is that Flat Earth, I feel, was given to conspiracy people. So if a person's not coming from a conspiratorial mind... It's like, well, what are you doing in this arena? So we're looking at everyone as suspicious.
What about a scientific mind? What about a direct realist mind? Somebody who's intellectually honest, no conspiratorial, no a conspiratard, because I certainly ain't one of them.
Yeah, but there is a conspiracy. There's a conspiracy.
Stop talking about other people who are not here. Deal with me and your experience.
Yeah, I'm a flat earther. I'm addressing the point of where
you're not. You're generalising and invoking non-entities.
No, I'm highlighting
son.
I'm highlighting the fact this is a conspiracy. And if people who join the Flat Earth don't understand this is a conspiracy, well, then there's going to be a problem. People are going to be called out. People are going to be named. And, well, why are you not focusing on the issue, which is there is a conspiracy? That's the problem here. That's what we're dealing with.
No,
people lying about the shape of the earth.
Science,
that is a conspiracy.
The objective science exposes that there is a conspiracy.
Well, that's my point. So that's the point. We're dealing with a conspiracy here at the highest level.
Right.
Biggest lie we've ever been told. So if your attitude to the conspiracy side of every conspiracy, everything we've been told has to be a lie because it's all part of the Flat Earth.
Everything has to be a lie. I don't say everything has to be a lie. Look, Spurskimo, I'm not interested in your nonsense, son. Away you go. Right? I'm going to ask Dre Gray if he was ejected by fucking you or P. Mars there.
I didn't remove him.
I'm just going to turn you two right fucking down.
I didn't remove him.
You two are getting turned right down. Until I establish what happened to the real guest there. Dre Gray, can you let me know in the chat box, mate, if you were ejected from that hangout there?
Hey, Del, why don't you let the man...
Dre Gray, can you tell me if you were ejected from the hangout, mate, please? They can sit there in fucking silence until I get a response. Fly Earth Underground are beyond belief. I take it we can't hear the fucking dipshits right now. Let me know if they can be heard. Very great. I think you've been bumped out of the hangout. No, you're back. That's fine. Just let me bear with me a wee second to turn that back up. How you doing, Dre Gray?
Oh, hi. Yeah, hi, Del. Sorry, I think I left.
Yeah, I can't hear you, mate.
Ah. Can you hear me now? Ah.
I can hear you, Dre. You're coming through.
Can you hear me now?
Oh,
yeah, we can hear you, pal. We can hear you, pal.
I can hear you. I can hear you now. It was me at that time. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Just listening when that guy P. Mars was talking, I just thought I'd just let you just...
No, I couldn't hear him. I had him turned down, so I didn't hear anything he had to say. So.
Ah, sorry. Yeah, I've
No
listened to what
worries.
he's saying, man. It's good.
No worries. Go ahead.
Listen to
Yeah.
this narcissistic fucking idiot. You've been exposed, son. You've shat in your own mouth and swallowed it. Right?
It's
And now
crazy.
you want to come and spew your own shit that you ingested back up onto us. You're an absolute buffoon, son. You've got nothing. You're irrelevant. People know what you are, and you're just going to dissipate, fall by the wayside, and be laughed at. So
Are you finished,
continue.
Del? Are you finished
Continue.
raging, you gimp?
Continue,
You tattooed
Gimpy.
gimp in a shed?
That was
Take it to-
crazy.
Sorry,
Can I-
Gregory. On you go.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like when I was speaking to you last, and hearing these people talk, and I'd never met anyone like this in real life.
No.
They don't exist.
Nope.
They don't exist because they don't speak. No one speaks like that. No one speaks like that. If they did, they could be getting dealt with. You know?
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah, they're just propagandists. They slander people. They put people in a disempowered state of mind, emotionally, psychologically. They're just so, they don't get that the game has advanced now, and that these tactics are no longer viable. It's like they're just retarded, stuck in their set in their ways, like fucking, dysfunctional old technology.
Yeah. I couldn't see it before though. I could not see it.
Mhm.
It was like I was like, literally, I must have believed what I was ever told all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And they'd say stuff, and I'd be like, okay, no, that sounds quite right. That's just blah, 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 blah. And then now it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
Clutching at stupid straws, and then talking about the woman earlier, and then jumping onto Google. What the hell?
I know.
What's Google got to do with her?
Exactly. It's there's never any substance to what they offer. It's like bullying tactics, slander, as I say. Let's just make stuff up about people to try and discredit them because what they may be offering is important and useful to people. So it's an obvious tactic.
Yeah, I didn't see it before.
I don't get this angle, guy. You don't seem to want to talk about any of these things. You just seem. I mean, we agree the Earth is flat. We don't have a model. We don't have a map. But so we agree on these things. But what the people out there don't understand is there's a conspiracy behind this. So if we're pushing flat Earth,
Spurskimo, can you focus on what's been spoken about and what's been presented here in regards to slanderous, agent provocateur, mudding of the waters nonsense? Focus on that, son, because that is a huge aspect of the problem, although you're trying to evade it and make it about something else, which I'm not going to let you do. So focus on what's been discussed. Let's hear what you have to say in regards to what idiots like Russian Vids has to offer. Go for it.
Slander, again, shouldn't be a focus. The individual should not be attacked. I agree with that 100%. But at the same time, if you're not understanding that these people, like Russian Vids, are coming from a conspiratorial background where they're trying to put pieces together. People like Pete, they're trying to put pieces together. You are trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together.
You're trying to defend him in some
No, I'm
way.
not defending him. I'm saying that no one should be
he's been at the
slandered.
same thing. I'll ask you, Spurskimo, has Russian Vids or any of these clowns brought one Freemason lodge to its knees? Have they brought the perpetrators of the 9/11 incident to justice? Have they brought any of these things? Have they empowered any individual in regards to any of their content that they've offered to anybody? You keep saying focus on this, focus on this. The aspects that are important is how these psychopathic, narcissistic manipulators behave in their antics, which is what has been pointed at. So you think that's irrelevant? No,
you're right. But the point is what we're trying to do is what you're trying to do is bring awareness. All we're doing is well, that's what you're doing. You're bringing awareness to this lie. People are trying to bring awareness to what's going on in our reality. What more can we do? We cannot bring down institutions, governments. This is what I've been trying to say. I don't have an issue.
Spurskimo, don't misrepresent me. I don't have an issue with any of that. Are you not paying attention? The focus here is on liars, slanderous deceivers, misrepresentations, propagandists.
Right, absolutely.
Right, so that's what's being exposed and spoken about. So what are you talking about, son?
So how do we talk about that without talking about this? The two were connected. They correlate.
I'm still waiting for you to make a salient point here.
We're trying to put the pieces together. What salient point are you looking for?
Look, you're just generalising and being
you
fucking
just vague. Said, I'm not the guru. I'm not
you're
the guru.
Being vague, son. You're being vague. What specifically are you talking about?
You've just said to me, you're not a guru. I'm not a guru. We're trying to put the pieces together. You're saying to me, make a relevant point. Make a relevant point. Who has a relevant point when we're trying to put pieces together?
You came in here, Spurs. You came in here saying you had something to offer, and I'm still waiting for that.
Well, who has something to offer? Who? What do you have to offer?
I'm here exposing blatant propaganda and nonsense.
No, you have a piece of the puzzle. You're not Mr. Flat Earth, as you've just said. You all have a piece.
Spurs, fuck off, son. You are a fucking moron. You are an absolute fucking idiot.
Dale, do you mind if I say something?
Of course, mate. Please.
All right, cool.
No, listen, that idiot.
From what these guys are saying, they're attacking your message, but then trying to suggest that your message is coming from a place of a bias, and that bias is related to a satanic cult.
Yep.
When I do not hear anything in your message at all, which just points to the truth, which I live in, and from what I hear you always say, it's not listen to people trying to portray a just. They're coming from a place of just and truth, and they can unlock you from this hell, which is which you can do yourself, which is what you say.
Yep.
There's nothing satanic about that, because you always and your mannerisms are always positive and focused towards the right thing for us all.
Yep.
What's satanic about that?
Nothing. It's satanic to them because they're oppressors. They just flip everything. So they'll point that at me, project that at me, but that's what they are. Again, people like myself don't sit making hit piece videos and slandering people. We look to understand and progress and have that discussion and piece bits together and have a look at all different aspects from the individual to the objective. These people don't offer that. They just offer empty buzzwords, slander, hit piece, name calling, the very things that they say they're against.
Yeah.
Del, you slander and name call constantly on your show.
Come on, man. You can't jump in and just start saying the opposite to what you're saying. That's ridiculous.
I know. This is it. P-Mars doesn't understand the difference between coming here and
Am I wrong?
It's like children, though. It's like children. I've got kids.
Well,
my kids
isn't
not behave like that.
Hypocritical to accuse someone?
But P-Mars doesn't understand.
Calling when you do it yourself.
P-Mars doesn't understand the difference between if you come here and act like a blatant moron, I'm going to call you that. That's no slander. That's me dealing with you right here now as you are.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
I think Russian Vids made some good points. David Icke is suspect. And then
what's that got to do with this channel, though? Do you know what I mean?
You got weird tattoos. You're telling people.
Let Dre speak. We've heard you before. You're irrelevant.
Like talking about David Icke, like David Icke's your dad, and or something. What's that got to do with anything?
Exactly.
You might as well say Michael Jackson, or Bill Clinton. It's a name. It's got nothing to do with anything we talk about.
No.
What does it bend?
The Arizona Wilder story about.
No, the Arizona Wilder story. I remember that. Revelations of a Mother Goddess. There you go, P-Mars.
No, but she rebelled against David Icke, and she exposed him as being a handler of MK Ultra program.
I didn't know this was I was an advocate for David Icke in any way, shape, or form. So what you're saying is absolutely irrelevant.
Speaking of David Icke, Lodell, just a flippant statement. Like I remember when I first started looking into Flat Earth, and I become aware of what can't bend. But at the time, I was really interested in David Icke. And I messaged him on YouTube saying, David, you got to look into the Flat Earth. You really should.
Yeah.
But hey,
I remember him addressing it. He addressed it as like it was, what does it matter? What difference does it make? I mean, right there and then for somebody who's on an supposed intellectual pursuit of truth, to make a statement like that just told me a hell of a lot,
Yeah, I see that. Like when I hear people talking, and this is what I do now. I never used to. I listen to what they say about things I know as objectively true, and if you're aware, then you can't dismiss things that without what they say about if you don't look into something fully, then you're stupid, basically.
Yeah, it's willful ignorance, and especially when you're passing judgment and making comment on things that you've not looked at properly. It's bizarre. And again, that's the nonsense of this. You're passing judgment on people who you've never met. you've never interacted with. I mean, that should be obviously and clear to people that you're dealing with agent provocateurs, slander agents, you know, people that are not to be trusted or listened to or give any attention, you know. They're irrelevant.
Completely.
Aye.
I can't even hear them talk anymore.
No, you'll not hear them talking.
No.
Until they've learned manners and respect and have the ability to actually have a discussion with people, they'll just get treated like the fucking knob ends that they actually are. Yeah. So, and again, you know, I don't have any personal gripe with any of these people. I'm not the one that makes slanderous hit piece videos on them. They've taken it off their own back to go and, you know, do that themselves. They're showing their true colours, you know.
It does make it simple to see them though when people do that. As soon as someone reaches for their video making capability and starting to point to people, say, look at him, see, look at this, and it's all cut out like people were saying earlier. Whoa. You're clutching at straws there. You're clutching at straws that don't even exist.
Aye. But again, you know, these same tactics is the very same tactics that's used in the mainstream media. You know, how, you know, trying to discredit people, you know, making it relevant to focus on somebody's personal appearance or subjective preferences, and they use these things against people because people are stuck in that emotional, you know, subjective judgment state of mind.
Yeah.
And these guys are no different.
Yeah.
They talk about exposing the lies in mainstream, yet they use the very same tactic.
Yeah.
You know?
Mainstream is the mainstream.
Yeah, exactly. It's just lies and deceit, disempowering, you know, nonsense.
Yeah. It's scary, but they're just, you know, nothing to be scared of really because it's all crap.
You know. So, well, just bear with me a wee second, mate. I just want to do something here. Right, so I've just been collecting these. I usually set it there, but I forgot to set it up. It's too late, Russian Vids. We can see all the accounts that you're using to come in, son. So I'm just videoing that for future, so that we can show you again exactly who you are when you take more tantrums. You know, I'll just keep that there right now. So. Aye, so it must be a real eye opener for you, mate.
Yeah.
You know, seeing some of these antics and stuff and how it's worked.
Yeah. So you've been putting up with this for years.
Yep.
Years and years and years.
Aye. You know, from palm bombing to slanderous hit piece videos, just every aspect of manipulation, lies and deceit and stuff like that, you know. All the tactics you would expect. You know?
I don't know, man. It's something that I would probably get pissed off with. But wish I see that you do, you know.
Aye.
But freaking
Why are you scared, Del? Why are you so scared, Del?
Scared of what?
Scared of the truth.
What
you talk about a contained system. What's a contained system, Del?
Who talks
what's
about
holding in? What's holding in our atmosphere?
Who talks about a contained system?
Yeah.
Who talks about who professes that it's a contained system?
You did. We need a solid separation, don't we?
Listen.
A vacuum from a non-vacuum, right?
Misrepresentations. Exactly. Dealing with a heliocentric claim that would have to be the case if we existed in a medium that was a vacuum. Listen, clean your ears out, you dumb fuck.
Hey, take it easy with your language, pal.
Fuck off.
I don't swear.
You're a dumb fuck. You're as thick as two short planks. You're useless. You're a liar. You're a sneaky wee snake, son.
Oh, is that so?
Aye.
Is that so? For pointing out the truth. For
sneaky wee snake.
For exposing you as a shill.
Sneaky
for
wee
exposing
snake.
you in the front.
Turn you down. You're being exposed, sonny boy. Again, misrepresenting. The thing about it is, you know, everybody knows when you're dealing with a claim that is a heliocentric model, when they say we exist in a vacuum, the only way that would be possible would be for us to be solidly contained from the vacuum to maintain the gaseous pressure that we live in. But again, fuckface here likes to just make any old nonsense up and hear what he wants. More dishonesty. Go speak. Go.
Oh, you're actually going to unmute me. Okay, great.
Aye.
So you talk about we need to be in a contained system, and you mock the firmament, you mock the dome. So what do we have here to contain this pressurized system?
I'm telling you back then again, are you not listening? Are you just going to keep making nonsense up? It's just been clearly stated to you, and everybody knows. It's in regards to the claim. I make no claims about domes and firmaments or what the actual dimensions, the full dimensions are, and you know that. But you require to keep telling lies that are not going to work. So I suggest you snap out of it. It's over for you, son. You can't get out of this. You've been defeated. You're done. Stamped on, shat on, pissed on, and now with my shitty toilet paper, I'm going to ram it down your throat.
Is that so? Is that so?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, again, you're not answering the question. What's containing this pressurized system? Answer the question, Del.
What about it?
Why do you mock the dome? Why do you mock the firmament? We need to be in a contained system, right?
Who's mocking it?
So what's holding in all this pressurized?
I don't know.
Pressurized system we're in.
I don't know.
The dome.
I don't know. That's why we need full exploration.
Could I ask a question?
Don't mock the dome.
Who's mocking it?
Go ahead.
You're mocking Christianity, son. You're mocking Christianity with your slanderous, lying, deceptive bullshit. You've just been exposed again.
Del, you oppose the dome, the firmament.
How can you be a Christian when you slander and make judgmental calls on people? Slander, misrepresent, lie, deceive, cheat. How can you be a Christian? You're not a Christian. Do you want to answer to these points? I'm not here to answer your questions, son. You've been exposed as a liar. You need to now account for your behaviour. So unless you can account for your behaviour, I'm going to keep turning you down. You better respond to the points. Go.
Del.
How can you be a Christian? Are you a Christian?
Can you hear me, Del?
Russian vids. Are you a profession? You're a Christian?
Yeah.
Right, how can you be a Christian when you shit on Christianity with your behaviour?
What I stated a million times is you don't bring anybody beyond water.
Shut up, liar. That's you. You're turned down for good now.
Is he gone?
No, he's still there. I'm just going to keep videoing him to see how long he sits there and what other accounts he uses.
Like, he is just doing that, jumping at a crazy idea that he believes is true because he follows religion that he believes is true.
He doesn't, though. He doesn't follow that religion, mate, because if he followed it, that's what
he claims it. He claims
how can he be saying he's a Christian when he slanders and lies and cheats and passes judgments on people? You can't be doing that if you're a Christian.
No. And a lot of these Christians do that, though.
Yeah, so they're no real Christians.
Yeah. Which they should really look at themselves and think that way, you know?
Yep. Exactly, mate. Exactly. You've been muted. This is their new tactic. This is him and P. Mars work together. You know, creepy touchers working together.
Oh, wow. I feel privileged to be muted.
Yeah, you've been muted again. This is
can you hear me now?
Yep. Yep.
Oh.
I can hear you. But they keep muting you.
Wow.
Just with my wee sound. Right, that's him gone. So if you unmute yourself now, we'll see if P. Mars continues to mute you.
That was Russian Vids.
Russian Vids was muting you, and I've got it all on camera here as well.
I was just saying some really evil, cruel stuff or something to be muting me.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. You know, they don't want real people engaging in real discussion. They just can't handle it.
No.
You know,
they can't.
The people at Russian Vids are opposed to that. That's their duty. That's their job. Is to keep fragmenting people and keep people divided with ideological nonsense.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I can clearly see that now.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, right, real eye opener there. As I say, this has been going on now for 3 years, week after week. You know, these cult fanatical zealots who accuse people like me, who mind their own business, you know, I have to add, and you know, remain so, and they keep coming here. I mean, P. Mars is so desperate own task or whatever his insecurities are, that he just feels the need to be here constantly. You know,
Is that P. Mars?
Aye.
Is he the one doing the porn thing?
Nah, he does the porn bombing, aye.
Wow. Does sound like a 17-year-old boy.
Aye, exactly. I'm not sure if he is mentally retarded or not. I don't know his clinical background or whatever, but there's obviously something, you know.
Yeah. To go from, we're trying to get the same thing out there, man. And then the week before, he's checking on porn on your channel because he's so mature and so trying to help with what's going on.
It was Don Shredder.
What's Don Shredder?
I don't know.
It's still not good conversation, is it? So I don't understand why you do that.
No. So it was interesting you saying the other night about your radar duty, you know.
Yeah. So I used to electronics. So I used to fix long range. I was an electronic technician, and I used to fix long range air defense systems and stuff like that. And then I got, I did longer. So I, as you do in these systems, I started teaching it. Yeah, man. And so everything's based off the world spinning in space. Everything.
Mm-hmm. But the geometry that's assumed in the applications that you're using are planar.
You don't even think about that.
No. Because they're not teaching that. It's the same when I went to the universities. People don't understand the axioms that they're using, the base axioms of their mathematics and their applications. So it seems deliberate.
It's a given, isn't it? It's a given in your life. It's a given thing.
Also, what?
Oh gosh, what's this? This is a nice picture.
No, it's some again.
Wow, it's like the pictures you see on the gaming channels. Yeah. Where they have like these crazy outfits and stuff, and they're like all cool dudes.
Yeah,
it's nuts, man.
I know.
Nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah, but you take that stuff for granted. That
nice wallpaper, pal. I love the wallpaper. Incredible Hulk. How nice.
It's my son's bedroom because I've got kids downstairs and I don't want to disturb them while I'm talking adult stuff.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
So he's passing judgment on your child's wallpaper now.
I don't give a damn what he says about it. He's just stupid to me.
Exactly.
Well, push the propaganda. Propaganda.
It's wallpaper.
With Hollywood and
oh gosh, it's wallpaper.
Very nice.
He's like, it's wallpaper, man.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Wallpaper. Fuck. Sorry. Wallpaper.
There's a book by Christopher Knowles called Our Gods Wear Spandex about mythology of a comic book. It's kind of interesting.
Oh, is that what the picture's talking about? That's cool. That's nice. Anyway, you take it as a given that, you're on this big ball. Everything revolves. Literally, it's just crazy. No one thinks about no planar geometry stuff.
No.
I didn't know it existed till you started talking about with Gav. So,
well, that's
not gonna lie.
That's what your equipment you're using. That's what it's based on. That's the assumed geometry. That they put into practice. It's the same. I spoke about that previously with like submarines as well. Aircraft, everybody knows that. A submarine uses the exact same principles. Calculating angles, speed. How to pinpoint a target, where it's going to be when you fire. They're all using it.
Yeah, like because say I've heard you talking about artillery and things like that in the past.
Yeah.
And I have served with some artillery, like long range, like 105, light gun.
Yeah.
And you don't think about no one.
Yeah, you'd be muted again.
I'd be muted. Oh, I'm gonna tell some satanic lie, I suppose. Now then, I must be or something.
Sorry, you muted me there as well. So.
Am I? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. No one even thinks about spin or anything.
No.
There's no need to.
No.
It's never mentioned.
No.
I think my missus just called me. I think
Aye.
Chinese.
Well, cheers for coming on and trying to have a conversation. Appreciated, mate. You know.
No, it's cool, man. So, I want to say thank you. I didn't say it last time, but thank you for doing what you do. I need to make that clear because it is what's helped me see what I see today.
No,
Just want to say
cheers.
that.
You done that yourself, man. Honestly, but I appreciate the gesture, mate.
No, it's good. Anyway, I'll be back to listen later. But
Nice one.
see you later.
Take
Bye.
care, buddy.
Bye.
See you soon.
Are you ever gonna stop lying about flat Earth, though?
I'm not lying about anything, P-Mars. What am I lying about? Give me some specifics.
You're a liar.
No, that's all right. Well, you're a
telling-
liar. Well, now we'll just
I'm
call
telling
each other
people.
liars and it'll not go anywhere, P-Mars. The problem you have, son, is that you don't have anything specific. Give me something that we can discuss, son.
You're pushing this new age ignorance stuff. You're like society celebrates ignorance, and
What's
you're
new
pushing
age?
that
What
on
new
people.
age stuff? Stop generalising and making sweeping statements, P-Mars. Just give me something.
Nihilism.
What's nihilistic
Like,
about me?
Your extreme skepticism of everything is the same that the propaganda the CIA was doing in the 60s. They were promoting nihilism. It's exactly what you're doing on the internet.
Skeptical about things that are not in my direct experience is pure health, son.
And you're working with Eric Dubé,
I'm
who's
not working with anybody.
an anti-Semite.
I'm not working with anybody. Can you substantiate any of your nonsense that you're saying here, sir?
Eric Dubé says
Do
Hitler
you
was
have
a
anything
good person.
substantial to offer in regards to your accusations that you're making?
He says dinosaurs are a hoax.
I'm not
Like,
Eric
what a bunch
Dubé. I
of
suggest you go and
garbage.
speak to Eric Dubé. Why are you bringing up?
Garbage.
Why are you acting like a sweetie wife and bringing other people into a discussion when they're not here? That's just
You think
unjust.
dinosaurs are a hoax?
That's
garbage,
just unjust. Right? I'm just going to turn you down. You're a fanny, son. Again, another wee fucking sweetie mouth bitch talking about people that are no present. I suggest you go and speak to them. But you're just a wee sweetie mouth cow. So yeah. Anyway. If anybody else would like to join. This is, again, everybody's met these people in real life. Start bringing up non-entities and people that are not present and start bitching and asking you to answer questions about them. And of course they are not bewildered anymore. They're not real. That's it. Again, I'm not going to make these people relevant. I don't give a fuck after this. I'm only going to use them when they offer something that I think's of use to point at and highlight to people, Aye, when they come in, Natalie Kay, that's exactly how it feels. But they're not even children. At least children have got, some charisma and they're lovable and excitable and without stupid wee agendas. These are, it's an insult to children to call them children, to be honest with you. Snakes, sneaky, sleek-it, slithering, slimy, little fuckos who'll prey on the weakest thing they can find. That's what they are. Cheers, my goomba. Oh, that's a big one, Melted Beetle. I've been questioning this ever since I was a child. As I say, reflecting on myself from a child and my inner workings and trying to relate to other children and what was going on about me, and it felt alien and things were not right. I've been questioning a long time. Like I'm sure the majority of people here probably have been. James, how you doing?
How's it going, Dale?
I can't hear you, James.
You can't hear me?
Can you speak, mate?
Yeah, I'm just...
You're just really... Hold on, I'm going to turn you up on this, see if that's any better. How you do? Can you speak now? I've got no mercy there as well.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you faintly.
Let's see if I can turn this up somehow.
No mercy, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
No bad.
Went to do. I'm doing my truck course right now.
Right.
And we were talking about how trucks go around the curves if they're loaded like high, how they'll flip over.
Yeah.
And he was basically saying it was the center of gravity, and I couldn't hold my tongue. I had to say, "What do you mean gravity?" And he's like, "You don't know what gravity is?" He's like, "Well, you shouldn't be driving a truck if you don't know what gravity is." And I basically just said, What do you mean?" I said things just flip over because they're higher and there's weight up there. Well, momentum of the truck, is going to carry it over, right? And I basically asked him to describe what gravity was, and he said it's what holds your feet down to the ground. So
that's always the effect that they'll cite. But even the mainstream will tell them, we can say what it does, but what it is we don't know. I mean, and then they've got two different models of gravity as well. So always ask people to, define which one they're going with.
Yeah, well, he basically belittled me because I asked the question, what is gravity? And his answer was, A, you shouldn't be driving a truck if you don't know what gravity is. And B, it's what holds your feet to the ground. I left it at that. It's a classroom, right? I didn't want to get into the whole thing, so I just left it. So, but it's interesting how it's everywhere. I did my gun course too, and I brought up, I think it's the Coriolis, where you shoot a bullet and it should
deflect.
It's everywhere. It's
aye, I know. But that's it, the way in which objects fall. I don't know how that's going to negate your ability to, drive a vehicle. It's just absolute absurd. It's part of the state of humans, and their idiocy, But did you get any joy, James, with your volume there?
No, I don't think so. I don't know how bad it is or how low, but
I can hear you now. When you sit forward a wee bit, you're coming through a bit clearer.
alright. Thanks, Roshan, babe. It's great that you're on board with.
What's that?
I was just calling in. I haven't been on. I tried to get on a few times, but I think it's I usually watch it on the iPad and it doesn't seem. It gives me an error when I try and join the Hangouts.
Yeah.
On the iPad, so I'm on the laptop, but
go.
It's not great. I was on. I don't know. I sent you a message the other day. Just about. I was looking up stuff on the trivium and quadrivium, and
I got that, James. I just never had a chance to look. I think it was a Jan Irving thing you sent me. Was it no?
I don't know. It was just a link to a video that some guy was doing on the trivium and all. But I don't know who he is or but it's the information that he was given was good, but he mentioned a couple of things that were the usual kind of stuff that you grow up with and you get all these fallacies and stuff like that and you just believe them.
Yeah.
And I thought that, it would be useful if you could speak to someone. I mean, like, you can't really have a conversation with, someone like Russian vids there. They're not listening, they're on their own agenda, so if you could demonstrate it with somebody who's still has the belief, but at the same time use the proper techniques for discussing it, and it's easy to see. It's easy to see when you're outside of it. You're looking at it.
Yeah.
You can see all the the bullshit, but I mean, if people could see somebody that's in the same position as them, believing in a globe, and to be easily able to accept all the fallacies in it, and to, I think that would be useful and helpful.
Aye, you'd think people would adapt and move on, but these characters just display that they're not there, they're not willing to move on. It just makes you feel like they are on task, they are on an agenda. and they're just there to defame people and slander and misrepresent and detract from what's really important here. You know, and at the same time, they're professing they're Christian type characters, but they portray themselves with these types of judgments and slander and lies and deceit. I mean, it's dumbfounding. You know, we've got one here, this is flat out elected, who's an advocate of Russian vids, who makes hit piece videos as well. So it'll be interesting to see what this guy's got to say for himself.
I'm assuming it's probably Dell. I've been in this game a very long time. And this is not to take away from you, but generally, when people come into a work greeted with a nice greeting, I'll just now.
Well, listen. Listen. That's all very well. You know, I like you taking that uppity approach, but as far as I understand, you have made hit piece videos in regards to myself. You've mirrored a hit piece video that is total nonsense, and you expect me to treat you with some sort of respect? No, that's earned, son. And so far, you have no earned my respect or my manners. So you're going to have to endeavour to get that from me. So I'll let you speak, but don't come in here with an uppity attitude like you're owed something. Because right now, you're the shit on my shoe until I see otherwise, okay?
Interloper.
Okay, your response. Quickly, let me just say this. The Christian community, we'll call it the body of Christ.
Excuse me.
Excuse
me. There's a
turn the other.
No, excuse me. I'm going to cut in when you use fallacious nonsense. You do not represent other people. You speak for you. Don't use terms like the Christian community or we or us. Speak for you. Okay?
Okay. Your attempts at unity there. Let me just say this. As a member of the body of Christ, we have, as Scripture asked us, to turn our cheeks 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. Mm-hmm. We have turned our cheeks well over 1 million. I think what you're having a heart is that the Christian body of Christ has now began to fight back in these days.
No,
you're okay with that, but
no,
I would suggest you begin to get okay.
No, I don't. Let's deal with the topic at hand, shall we? We're talking about slanderous misrepresentations, barefaced lying. Okay, we're talking about propaganda that's been perpetuated by people at Russian Vids and yourself. So don't start, taking it away and talking about other things. Deal with that. What have you got to say in regards to your accusations?
I hear you.
Okay, let me hear what you've got to say.
Del, know that this is your channel. I'm going to give you in that this is your channel. I'm going to be very mindful not to interrupt you because I'm very, very much attuned of humanity. But let me just say this: there are some things. Middle of my sentence, interrupt the beginning of yours.
You're buffering.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you're cutting it.
Turn your camera off. It might help.
Yep. Give me 1 sec. Off. Here, that's a better looking. For me, Del, I don't have an actual issue. However, your behaviors are suspect, to say the least.
What behaviors?
It's not.
What behaviors?
About disrespect.
Be specific. Be specific. What behavior?
Okay. Your absolute disdain for Christians. Number one.
That's bullshit.
And
don't make stuff up. Don't make stuff up. No, I'm gonna mute you, you cunt. Don't fucking dare come in here and make stuff up. No disdain for Christians at all. Stop you know what? Just fuck off, you fucking piece of shit, you. I don't have any disdain for any of these people. I bring them into my fucking home and feed them and fucking water them. Give them money home for their spiritual journey, you fucking idiot. Keep it up, you fucking sack of shit.
I have heard leave.
You just can't see your own fucking stupidity, son. Your own deceitful, idiotic ways. And you're still trying to gaslight me that I'm somehow responsible for that. Fuck off, you fucking manipulative cunt. You're not a Christian. You're a fucking lying sack of shit.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, the big man's fucking telling me it's straight and I don't like it, so I'm stumped and I'm just going to say aye.
Why
Fuck
do you
off.
keep coming here, Russian vids? If he's such a bad guy, why do you keep coming and watching?
Because they're fucking idiots. They're on task and now they're backtracking because they know they're being fucking found out.
We are called to deal with that type of thing.
Pardon?
Amen. Amen, Russian vids.
Amen. Fuck off.
Why don't you go to your own channel, Russian vids? Do you honestly think you can? I know what your goal is. It's try to get people away from this channel, but do you think that's going to work?
I'm going to give him one more opportunity to fucking speak with respect and make salient points and answer to his fucking anti-Christian ways without misrepresenting and making up lies. You've got one more chance flat out elected. Go for it.
You're the one that displays anti-Christian behavior. Most certainly not Dal or Russian vids or myself. You have said out of your own mouth that flat Earth, there is no place for religion in that discussion.
There is no place for objective inquiry. There is no place for religion and objective inquiry. If people want to be religious, which I have stated every single time I've been live, that's up to them. I do not want to rob them of that. They can have it, but please suspend it for the objective question, is what's been clearly stated. So, what have you got to say about that?
Is that the Bible was a flat Earth book long before you came to flat Earth.
Never mind obfuscating and diverting. What have you got to say about my statements clearly stated that keep your religion to yourself, you can have it, I defend your right to adopt whatever you want, but it has no place in the objective question of where we are.
You got to agree with that.
Whereas I would disagree considering.
Fine.
No, I agree on a small level.
Why do you tune in then? Why do you tune in with somebody you disagree with? Why do you still come and tune in if you disagree so much with this guy?
Hold a second.
What are you doing here?
Oh, wait a sec, brother. Okay, so wait a sec, brother. So if you are a deliverer of truth, a messenger of truth, that agree with you, or do you try to encourage people to have an open mind and an understanding so that you have them repent, in other words, change with truth? Do you to speak to people that don't agree with you?
What? Oh, that doesn't even make any sense.
I knew that would go over somebody's head.
If you don't like this guy, if you don't like him, what are you doing here?
No, don't put words in my mouth. Don't put words in my mouth, sir. I never said I didn't like him. I don't agree of his behavior.
What behavior? What behavior?
Well, there's one right there. There's one right there. I'm not yelling at you. I'm a big guy like you, bro. You're a big
guy and I'd fucking smack you right in the fucking mouth, you fucking piece of shit. I'd smack you right in the fucking mouth.
You couldn't look it.
Look, you couldn't punch.
You couldn't punch your way through
son. You're easy meat. Blindfolded, one hand behind my back, fucking legless. I'd punch your cunt right in.
The only fight you ever lost in your life, you slipped going around a corner. Don't talk to me like that.
Shut up. Away you go. This is my platform. This is my platform, narcissistic, deceiving liar, anti-Christian, fucking satanic show that you are. Away you go, you fucking gimp. Mind your own fucking business.
That's the problem, Gal, is you get too triggered.
Do you know what happens with men that stick their nose into other men's business, son? You get it fucking smashed.
For a while. Why don't you just take a break?
Why don't you just get
take a break, Gal?
Bye.
Show your face, Russian vids. Show your face or get lost.
Yes, shows your ladylike features, Russian vids. So we can call you a tranny and make it relevant somehow. So, anyway, sorry, James. And no mercy.
Nobody wants you here, bud. Sorry. I know it's not nice.
They keep saying that, your behaviour. What? Saying fuck and fuck you and get it up you. You know, well, never mind that. What about the details of what's been shown here? Your professed Christian manners. Again, I'm not the one making hit pieces and sticking my nose into any of their business. They continually come to me.
I bring up flat Earth to pretty much everybody I talk to. I don't record it, but that's my choice. And who are you to tell me what to do?
Exactly. I mean, is there any people out there? I mean, James, no mercy. I mean, if you these guys behaving like that in your actual reality, acting like sweetie mouth little bitches, would you tolerate that for any longer than 10 seconds? Do you think they would even behave like that?
Of course they wouldn't.
Exactly.
Russian vid. You wouldn't. You're hiding behind this little picture, little cartoon picture. You wouldn't say any of this stuff to Dell's face or to anyone's face.
No.
Well, do it. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see your face too.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you afraid to show your face? Why are you afraid to show your face?
Apparently his name's Ben Lomachenko or something like that. And he looks a wee bit like a fucking swelled out Stewie from Family Guy. You know, red-faced fucking... You know, a bit of a creepy-looking character, to be honest with you. You know? There I go passing judgment. Hey. But anyway, never mind them, guys. Fuck them.
How come you're still here, Russian vids? You made hit pieces. I don't get the mentality that you're still here.
I know. I think it's because he has TB.
Are you being paid to be here?
No self-respecting man would even behave like that.
Let me speak. Is Doug gonna let me speak or what?
I will let you speak, but you're not getting to proselytise. You either speak with a conversation or I'm going to keep turning your volume down, okay, son? Are you going to answer to your anti-Christian, slanderous, deceptive propaganda agenda? Or are you going to keep trying to, subvert away from that?
I'll speak the truth.
No, you know. It's not the truth.
Are you going to let me speak or not? You're going to keep cutting me off.
No, when you keep making statements like you're going to speak the truth. You don't speak the truth. You're a liar.
Dal, calm down. Let me speak here. And
you're a liar. Don't try and take the upper hand. See your wee psychological games. I'm going to turn you down. If you keep trying these games, son, I'm too smart for that. I'm not going to sit back and let you wash over the top of me. You better just try a different tactic. Try coming to the level. Try and be like the way we're being with each other. Men discussing, having a conversation without trying to have one-upmanship. If you can achieve that, I'll let you speak. You've got another chance. Go.
Fair enough, Dale. That's fair enough. Okay, first off, like I told you before, I first joined in your chat. You have an open platform. The first thing that happened, I get attacked by someone like Alyssa. I don't know who she is.
I'm telling you back down again because you're now talking about other people. Deal with me. Deal with the slanderous nonsense that you've perpetuated against my character. I'm not interested in anybody else because they're not here. So try again.
I'll try again. How about this?
Go for it.
And every time I join in, I try to expound on things. You cut me off. You cut me off because you don't want to expound beyond water being.
I'm cutting you off right now. You were given ample opportunity. You came here numerous times. You were given the platform. You spoke. There was no issue until you started passing judgment. Remember, do you accept or not accept that you made the first initial move of sticking your nose in by passing judgment? You were given ample opportunity. The platform was open. You came here. You spoke freely. It's there for everybody to see. Now you're going to keep lying.
Dale, let me just say this. Okay, you hear me?
Aye.
Okay, first thing, you and I, even before this got to the point where it's at, we had our disagreements, but we respectfully, discussed things and went beyond that. And then you had your wee mods, in the side.
First and foremost, the mods do what they do. I do not control the mods. I am here focusing on the hangout, no focusing on what the mods are doing in the chat box. If you get an issue with them, take it up with them.
He's got nothing, man, because he would have. He's Alyssa, now the mods. Who are you going to blame next?
Exactly. Another narcissistic trait.
Bring David
Icke. You guys won't let me finish.
Again, another narcissistic trait. He's pointing at everybody else, trying to make everybody else responsible for his ways. and he can't just focus on his antics and deal directly with the man that he's made the accusations about. More displaying here of Russian vids.
Sick mind.
Go for it.
Bottom line is this, Dale. You strawman me many times, right? I mentioned.
No, I didn't straw man you, son. I'm just going to keep turning you down when you make nonsense statements. You came here, you had the freedom to express, then you started passing judgment, trying to tell me what I should and shouldn't be doing on my own platform. Do you remember that?
No, I didn't say that.
All right, he doesn't remember that, but it's all documented. The facts are there, so that's the last I want to hear for this dick. Fuck off, son. You're not wanted. Well, later.
All he's doing is coming on and detracting from, you know, the real topic of what people are actually trying to discuss this seriously.
Yeah.
And he's just coming on, just, you know, talking shite and trying to steer it into just nonsense.
Yep.
Pretending to be your friend at first, agreeing, and then boom, hit you with hit pieces. It's pretty simple.
But there's tactics to be witnessed, you know, like the flat out elected and the way Russian vids comes in. They try and take this authoritative upper hand approach, like they're above you and they're looking down the way they talk. They're NLPing. Now, the people who are not as articulate as me and sharp, that can see it a mile away, they would just let that happen. And before they know it, you know, these people are overruling them and fucking running amok. The problem with them is they don't have any other approach other than what they know. So, you know, they're going to keep blaming me because they can't adapt. They can't come up to the level that we're at and actually have that discussion. They just don't, they're not capable.
And I think belittling the fact that you only, you know, we have that one irrefutable proof that water can't bend, and that's a huge one. And I think they want to belittle that because you're the only one that really does that. So I think it's, to them, it's a big thing. Let's belittle that. It's the biggest one. It's the biggest and best one because you can go out and demonstrate it. So they want to belittle it, and they might get, you know,
but at the same
10%
time,
of people listening to agree with them that yeah, you're right. That's all he does talk about is water, and I'm gonna leave and go talk about a calculator that comes up with 33 whenever you type something into it. But it has nothing to do with my life.
No. And it's an injustice to the whole platform and the people that have been here and the whole things that we've spoke about and discussed and ironed out and pointed out. You know, it's not just about water. There's so much to the sophistry. How,
I know.
You know, I mean, that's it though. It's just blatant lies, you know. And again, you're right. You know, that is one of the most powerful things is how that substance behaves. And they are trying to belittle it. They constantly try and play it down, you know. So
it's the biggest one. It's the biggest one, and until somebody can show me it sticking to it, it's the biggest one. So they had to send him in to, and if I'm not even saying he had to come in. He might just be acting on his own, but I highly doubt it at this point.
Yeah.
He had to come in, be your friend, and then get that to maybe get a few people thinking, oh yeah, he's right, you know. But really, if we're all tuned into this channel, we're at the point now where it takes quite a bit to snap us out of this because the physics of water don't change day to day.
No. Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. So I seen it. I could tell how he was always butting in and saying, I won't talk long, and totally just taking over and having that authoritarian mentality. And it's like, I could see it. I didn't know where he was going to go, but I could just see, what's this guy doing in here all the time? And I come in quite a bit, but it's when I got stuff I want to say, right?
Well, you don't come in here proselytizing and trying to overrun everybody. That's the difference. If he wants to proselytize, again, I defend his right to do so on his own fucking platform. He can go and knock himself out over there, but he's not coming and proselytizing to me or anybody here. You know, we're looking for discussions on the level with each other and listening to each other and, you know, responding to what each other is saying, you know, actually listening to each other. You know, but he's not capable of any of that.
So. So that thing I was talking about earlier with the truck rolling over, that's just force and momentum and the weight of the object, right? Like there's nothing. And I wanted to bring up something else too about the jets, the like the F-18s, F-22s. they call it G-force when the pilot encounters and they got to wear them special suits. That's just the force of the plane pulling our bodies, like I was saying earlier, our bodies aren't meant to go faster than we can run, or they break.
It's centrifugal force. It's that outward force that pushes you. You know, your momentum. You know, when the vehicle turns, you know, everyone wants to go straight on. So you feel that. It's the same. You can feel it in a waltzer or a roundabout. It's the same principle. You know, they'll call it G-force. But
yeah, the center of gravity, and I'm like, well, where's the outer of gravity? Where's the, if that's the center, where's
it used to be referred to as the center of mass, you know.
Yeah.
And if you go and listen to some old scientists, you know, Julius Sumner Miller, he highlights that, you know, he puts it up there for the onlooker to make their own mind up, call it center of mass, center of gravity, whatever you like, because it's interchangeable. They've just taken it and applied it to their concept, which they require for their concept to have any merit, you know. But that's all it is. It's just a concept.
And that's the thing with me, is that I constantly learning about stuff, because it's all around us every day. There's always people spouting things like gravity when they have no idea what they're talking about. So that's why I like your channel, because you actually bring up stuff that I can use out in the public, and it helps me get my point across rather than just coming across some bumbling idiot.
Exactly.
And I do my own stuff too, but
exactly.
It's just nice to hear how you put it into words, and
yeah,
it helps. It helps, because I had a plumber here today doing a dishwasher, and I just brought it up casually. I'm like, you know water, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, you know how see that pipe, how it'll flow and it'll level off? He's like, yeah. I'm like, what happens when you fill your sink, blah, blah. So it turned out, he's like, oh yeah, he caught on within the fourth question. He's like, oh, you're talking about flat earth, aren't you? And I'm like, where'd you hear that? He's like, oh, my buddy's big into it. And I'm like, what do you think? And I kind of went into some of the topics, and he said that he's never heard someone say it like that, and saying it like that kind of triggered something in his head. So
yeah, excellent. That's the whole point. Sharpen the arrows, remove the fluff, get the muddy water out the road, because we want progress. I want progress, and I want it quick. So, you know, it's in my best interest to get it right down to a fine, sharp tool to affect people the quickest possible way, you know. So excellent, mate. Keep at it.
I had one guy yesterday at the truck college. I basically brought it up to him, and he's like, life's more fun on a spinning ball flying through space being an accident. I don't want it to be created. That was his.
Well, that there tells you, you know, that fuels some people, because that is what they want. You know, they take a philosophical stance, a worldview stance that they want to be true, and they'll just run with that because it suits them, you know.
Yeah, I didn't go into it anymore. I after he said that, he's like, oh, this is flat Earth. I'm like, yeah, and he's like, no, he's like, life's more fun. We're flying through space, and I'm spinning, and that was it. No, I don't know. It was good. He was honest, and so I don't push those people, and I don't push anybody, but I don't. Okay, he's probably not gonna get it.
Yeah, that's the best way, mate. That's the best way.
But yeah, it's everywhere. It's every day. It's the brainwashing, and it's
good. It's good to see how the scope of how far it's reaching, and people are talking about it. And you find that now you're coming into contact with more and more people who are either talking about it, or their friends have been talking about it, they've heard about it. So it's great. Yeah. Again, it's an inevitability that it's gonna keep spreading, you know?
Yeah, and I think when more people go out and start, like I brought up the eclipses, and he said what caused, like, the Earth's shadow, and I know you don't like going up into there, but I said, do you know that there's been times where the eclipses happen when the sun and moon have been in the sky? And he's like, no, I didn't know that. I'm like, how would you justify that? And he said, I don't know. And that's what I said. I don't know either, but it wasn't the Earth causing the shadow.
Yeah, well, the Selenelian one as well, from top to the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't like going up to the sun, mentioning the sun and the moon, but since 3 years ago, however long it's been, 2 years ago, I find myself when they're not spraying the sky, I'm always looking at the moon, I'm always looking at the sun, seeing where it comes up on the horizon and how it kind of trickles down throughout the year.
Yeah.
I'm much more aware of everything, and
Yeah.
before this, I wasn't. It was just, oh, there's the moon, there's the sun. Why is it only a quarter lit when the sun's right there?
Yeah.
Why can I see through it? But now you're just more aware of everything, everything.
Exactly.
And you want to call bullshit on things like that center of gravity thing. You want to instantly say that's bullshit. It has nothing to do with the center of gravity. And
it's irrelevant again as well. You know, I say, you know, the sun and the moon, they're irrelevant to the question of the shape of the earth. You know, they're not irrelevant in that in regards to us furthering our understanding. And it's the same with, you know, how objects fall. It's irrelevant. It doesn't define the shape of the earth beneath your feet, talking about how objects fall. These are all aspects, again, that people can utilise and use to cut through unnecessary, you know, long-winded nonsense with people that doesn't go anywhere. You just get it right sharp, cut it off at the legs, you know, and move on from it, you know. So James, I take it you were looking at the Trivium stuff. Did they bring up, I take it, heliocentric cosmology or something? Were they referencing?
Yeah, well, the guy a little bit, he kind of, he just mentioned it in passing a few times. He talked about things that were, you know, like saying that the planets are orbiting the sun and all this, and just out of, you know, it's just the way you're conditioned to think.
Yeah.
But I mean, even like talking about that the other day, I was chatting to someone and with two of my buddies, and one of them turned around and started saying, "How do you explain the sun going over this?" And I'm like, it's like you said, it's okay to, you know, for furthering your knowledge to want to know about them and explore about them, but look, when it comes to the shape of the earth, they're completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
And I had to keep bringing them back and saying, you know, we're not trying to, you know, the sun and the moon are completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
The shape of the earth, we live on the earth. We don't live on the sun or the moon. So,
exactly.
You know, well, it's just about getting people to, it's so simple. And if you can just keep bringing them back and getting them away from all these straw man things like, you know, stars or, you know, they're just irrelevant to what we're trying to establish.
Exactly, mate. Well, it's been enveloped, it's been wrapped in the whole cosmology and made a relevance, and people can't see the distinguishing lines and how these things are no relevant. They don't offer measurement of the earth beneath your feet. They just keep spouting it because that's the religious dogma that they were taught and educated in. You know, and you have to, you know what it's like, mate. You have to keep bringing them back, ask them the questions, say, well, okay, can you now, you know, quantify the Earth's dimensions? Can you give me actual measurement of that by the sun, the moon, the luminaries, and watch them, you know, just stand there with a mouth open like, no, exactly. You know, so what are you talking about it for?
Yeah, no, it's true. You just got to keep bringing them back to the simple basic stuff that everyone, like where you did the video about how a child can understand about water. They don't need, you know, you don't need a degree to understand how water works. It's blatantly obvious. It's simple. You can test it and prove it.
Yeah.
You know, on any scale. So it's
exactly
to turn around then and believe that it's sticking to a ball on the outside and it's level, but it's not level. It's magic.
Yeah.
Like it's so obvious. It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Like,
they reject their common sense, direct experience of reality for hypnotic, you know, complicated language that they've suspended their own discernment from and left it in the hands of supposed priestly-like men who know better than them. That's the bizarreness of this whole thing, showing you the cult mentality that's been, you know, pushed and that people actually perpetuate without any effort from any government associations or any of that. People will perpetuate it, you know?
Yeah, that's the worst thing because you're looking at it and you're looking at the people and they're arguing and they're like really, they're like, it's as if they came up with this globe idea themselves.
Yeah.
And they're taking personal offense at the fact that it's being questioned.
Yeah.
That's like,
yeah. I noticed. Sorry, I noticed too. Whenever you bring up a good point, they'll say, "Oh, I'm not a physicist. I'm not this," but
Yeah.
they'll use words like gravity and explain like repeatable stuff that they use. No problem. As soon as you bring up a good point or something, "Oh, I'm not a physicist. I'm not."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's evasive techniques, you know, that people use. It's their ego that's the cause of that, you know, and that's the problem. You're not going to get them to acknowledge that maybe in front of you, but it'll be enough for them when they go away to have a doubt. You know, they'll realise, they'll acknowledge themselves that, you know, they couldn't answer and that they've, you know, been hypocrites in regards to, you know, oh, they're trying to answer these questions about the sun and the moon and gravity and concepts, but as soon as you bring actual tangible physics to them, it's like, oh, I'm not a physicist. You know, well, if you're saying that for this aspect, you shouldn't be saying it for anything else then, you know. But that's the defence. When people have a belief system, they'll partake in these types of traits, and you can watch it and analyse it and predict that that's what's going to happen, you know.
It's like you've said it 1,000 times, Dale. You believe in the, you know, the globe, and we all did.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anyone that didn't believe it. But that's it. At the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that it was just a belief, and you have to be able to look at yourself and honestly answer the questions and say, "Do I know that I live on a ball?" Or, you know, you don't. It's just a belief, and you have to be able to accept it and realize that the reality that you experience, that it totally contradicts that, and you have to realize that and be honest with yourself. That's the problem. People are just stuck and they can't let go of it.
Yeah.
They don't want it. Like No Mercy was saying, there, he was talking to someone and thought it was more fun to live on a spinning ball, and so just wants to believe it.
Yeah. Exactly. That's fine. Again, you know, have your fantasy, but don't go about trying to project it that it's subjective truth. You know.
Yeah.
So
you could tell he wasn't really into it. He didn't want anything to do with it. He just said basically that was his way of not getting involved in a conversation with that.
Yeah.
There's always people like that. We've all met them, and you just let them go and do their own thing, and that's fine.
Yep.
Everyone's entitled to their own beliefs. Whatever it is.
Yeah, I actually respected him for saying that versus trying to argue stupidity. I actually respected the guy. Something I don't know. It was weird. Nobody's ever said it. It was weird. It was like, wow, right on. Like at least
it's funny that, isn't it? You know, it doesn't matter as long as people are honest. It just feels easier. It's easier to take. It's, you know, you can accept that, fine. You know, at least you're honest and you understand your own processes. It's when people don't understand their own reasoning processes and put up these veils and masks and try and, you know, project themselves as something that they're not. I'm the exact same, mate. You know, just as long as you're 100% honest with me, I accept you. It's the confusers, it's the deceivers that make me uneasy, that make me nervous and anxious and insecure. You know, just be blatantly honest about what you actually are. You know. But the majority is they don't even know who they are or why they are the way they are, and that's the problem.
Well, I think you can see it a mile away when somebody comes on, and a lot of times people have come on here even, and you know, they're genuinely, you know, just trying to figure it all out or come to terms with it. And you can tell the difference between someone like that or someone who's coming on and just trying to steer it into, you know, nonsensical, just, you know, irrelevant stuff, or straw men, you know, stuff like that. And the difference when you speak to people in reality is they're not like that.
No.
You know, sometimes they'll bring up things like, you know, the sun or this, you know, whatever, but it's not from a place of, you know, where they're trying to be disingenuous. They're just, they don't understand, or they haven't put any time into thinking about it and genuinely contemplating it. So,
it's more from ignorance than being complicit and trying to perpetuate some nonsense. Exactly, mate. Exactly. No, but listen, guys, I need to go. I'm going to need to get the dog out and get myself some food. Appreciate you coming on.
Okay.
I don't want you to feel I'm cutting you off too early, but obviously I'll be back on Saturday. So
Yeah, it was good talking. Good talk.
Yeah, it was good chatting to you.
Yeah, take care.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you guys.
lads. Take care.
You too,
Yeah,
man.
have a good day.
Cheers, man. So, again, you know, we're probably going to see perpetuation of nonsense from these characters. Again, people, they are irrelevant, and as irrelevant, it's not about me, my tattoos, my haircut, my skin colour, or any of that fucking stuff. You know, again, people just need to learn to, you know, be them, sit on your own platform, focus on people's content. We can discuss what people are offering their product, you know, but when we start talking about the person, you know, I'm not fucking interested in that. You know, if you want to get to know persons, get to know them, but do that in person, right? You might get a gauge or a few, you've got a gauge on people through your online, you know, interactions and stuff like that. You know, that's up to you. I'm more cynical. You know, I don't take anything lightly like that. You know, I'll take my time. I encourage that with other people because, you know, this isn't a game of finding a pal. You know, this is a bigger fucking game. You know, what the fuck's going on? Where are we here? What are we involved in? Where is this place? What is this place? Let's find these fucking things out before we start, you know, offering up concepts and ideas about what we should be up to and, you know, how we should behave and all that stuff. Because until somebody offers me the objective truth of where I am and what my existence is, it's only going to be an idea, a concept that has absolutely no fucking merit whatsoever. So, again, look out for these people. Hold them to the fucking fire. Look at their walk. Look at what they're offering you. See if it fucking makes any sense to you. But I can guarantee you, these people that are professing they're Christians are the total fucking opposite. So I have no offence to Christians, Muslims, any, you know, religious, you know, denomination or race or whatever. None of that interests me whatsoever. If it's a subjective preference, keep it out of the question that is objective, is my statement. There is no requirement. It just holds the whole thing back, involves people in arguments and debates and fucking fights and all that stuff. You have your fucking subjectivity, have your subjective beliefs, keep them to your fucking self. That's it. Don't bring them into an objective question. Okay? Cheers, people, for coming on. Mods, always appreciated. People watching, people in chat, much appreciated. See you very, very soon.